I mean, maybe this is a silly example, but like Diablo-y kind of, or no?
I've never played Diablo.
Oh yeah, me neither. So. I mean, so like I know what it looks
just like that game we've never played.
Ah, shit. Yeah. Well, okay, terrible reference. Like it's like that, right? I don't know.
Yes, it's definitely just the way my mother used to show me.
Yeah, like the anime didn't watch, right? You know,
that's what the great soundtrack.
This is the best conversation. You know what I'm talking about? No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just like that.
Me neither.
Though, right? Yeah. All right.
What's up, people? Welcome to our little traveling podcast shack we call Otaku, where we have the hottest takes in anime and video games. I am your host this week, and I am Ray, aka Sourdough Shonen. And on today's episode, we have the freshest, hottest video game news that came out in the not E3 cycle that we find ourselves in having around the same time of year in June, summertime. But we have all the latest, hottest game announcements from PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, and everyone else in between. So if you're a gamer, you've come to the right podcast. But before we get into all that, we got to talk about our weeks. And more importantly, I got to introduce everyone else on this podcast. Because thankfully, it is not the Sourdough Shonen podcast. That's next year's project. Look forward to that.
That's a
Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
Exactly, huh? Got to get that. So I'll introduce a zombie of maybe on the podcast. A zombie because he's back from the dead. How's it going, Andy?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I guess I am back from the dead, aren't I?
We haven't had you on since our greatest of 2023.
That was like January or something?
I think December, early December.
Yeah, okay.
Because it came out towards the end of December. Recording schedules.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
How are you, Andy?
I'm good. Yeah, it's just been crazy, busy, but I'm glad that, I'm glad to be back. I mean, I love doing this. So
just had to bring the freshest, hottest video games for you to come back?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fresh, hot video games, let me tell you.
I
mean, 140,000 of them.
There's too many fresh, hot video games. And I'm playing games that are, some of them are like decade old, so.
Okay, well, I was going to say, I have old games, but you might beat me this time, Andy. We'll have to stay tuned the weeks to who's got the older game, the ugliest backlog, find out. And of course, our third chair today is my brother Miles. Hello, Miles. How are you doing?
I am cozy in this hot weather. Well, it's cold, a little chilly in here now, but it was a pretty hot one today.
Oh, it'll be melting in 30 minutes from now. So just everyone never know. We're here on the podcast. We sacrifice for our listeners out there.
Everybody turn on your clocks and ever set the timer.
They're in the nice cool house or working quietly with their headphones on, listening to this amazing podcast. And meanwhile, we're melting and dying inside. But it's all for you guys.
Yeah, we do for ourselves.
The pain we put
I mean, we could have the AC on, but that would just ruin everything.
Exactly. You don't want that. You don't want it's because we tested it. It sounds like we're in LAX. You don't want that.
We don't want that.
That's the other podcast. We're better than that.
Or the convention center. Depends.
We're at least at Union Station. It's a little bit quieter there.
Exactly.
And the Art Deco's there, so you'd be like, ooh, you're ooh and ahhing a little bit more there. No one wants to see the Jetson Tower. Everyone's seen it. It sucks. It's not that good. So welcome to the LA Fresh Video Game Anime Podcast. I think that's our intro. I checked the box what we're doing in. So let's see here. I guess it's only fitting, Andy. We have to know what have you been up to? What have you been watching and or playing?
What have I been watching?
You've had plenty of time.
I have, yeah. And there's actually some, So I guess the biggest sort of the most interesting thing in my watching and playing. Well, I've been playing. So I went back to an old game, Doom 2016. I never dove into that game. I don't know if either of you have. Yeah. Yes. So the first newer Doom of like the whole reboot, essentially. Yes. So like I played, I guess what you would call like the initial reboot of the series.
Right.
Yeah, and it was just a deal on the, and you know me. I always talk about how I'm a Switch freak. I'm like almost anything, almost exclusively Switch. So yeah, that was, and they're always on sale. There's so many sales. So I got Doom 2016, and it's one of those games where you're like, why didn't I play this like when it came out? Because it's that good. I don't know. Have either of you played that one?
I have dabbled. I get to the halfway point and then something happens and I forget about it. And
oh really?
Yeah.
So wait, were you like not into it?
No, I was into it. It's a good time, but it's just one of those like after a couple rounds of arcade shooters, I'm kind of like, I got my fill.
Yeah.
I guess it feels that way for me.
I get what you're saying. Like, it is very, like, I mean, you kind of get to the point of the game where you're, like, you like know exactly what you're getting out of it, and it's like now you're gonna go into a new room with more bad guys and more, and they're stronger, and but it's like essentially the same thing in every room,
Right.
But like, yeah, you're right. Like, and I think I like, and I like the first time I ever played Doom was when they re-released it on the 360 when they first like.
The original.
Yeah, the original.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it wasn't even. It might not even been Was it 360 or what? I think it was 360, not the original.
Seems like
I think it was when they did the Xbox Arcade stuff on the 360.
Was the 360. Yeah.
So that was like my first introduction to it, and I kind of always had like I guess I have it's gonna sound stupid. I have a soft spot for like ultra violent games. Like I don't know what it is
rip
about
and tear until they done, you say.
Just that explains all the blood all the time.
I know, like I just like, but there's something like, you know, fun about just destroying something to like obliteration. So yeah, I was like, I knew I liked that game, and I saw that it had really good reviews, and I got into it, and like, yeah, it like I was hooked on it. I would say I like very pleasantly surprised at how much I liked it. And like one of the things I like about the game is like it's so like lore heavy, and there's so many details into it. And like when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read all this stuff. And then at a certain point, you're like, I don't give a crap. Like who cares like where this alien came from? Was that?
That was my similar problem. Like I find it fascinating but after a while I'm kind of like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna blow this guy's head off anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna remember where like zombie Demon 5 came, like how he originated. Like I don't care about that. Like so, like it was just interesting to like, you know, just kind of get into it and then be like, oh, like this is like, I mean, it was just like a really cool, like faithful, like like it was like very much like how you would want a reboot to be, like to adapt to a modern age and like still kind of retain the same things. And like obviously you want to see all those like crazy beasts and demons that you saw in the first one, and they're all there, and you're like, oh, this is fun. And there's like, yeah, there's really good like it's not an uncommon thing, but like sort of like a tree system where you're like, oh, I want to upgrade this and that and that. But I will say, like, I think in sort of like in defense of what you were saying, like there comes a point where like it like doesn't matter anymore, where you're like, I'm already like ultra strong, so like it's like here's more stuff you can upgrade, and it's like I'm already like the strongest person in the world.
Everyone in this room already.
Yeah. So I will say, like, I guess that was like, as much as I love that game, I think at a certain point, like the learning curve, like it eventually was like, this is like, it kind of plateaued, and like the end of the game was kind of like easy almost. And that's sort of like one of my least favorite things about some games is like when you become so strong and you get to the end and you're just like, oh, I'm like powerful as hell. Like, I mean, I guess like RPGs can be like that depending on what kind of RPG you're playing. But like, you know, this game doesn't have grinding. It's just like new level. But yeah, no, I played that. I was playing that for a couple months. I loved it. And then I was like very interested in the sequel. And then apparently that's like a whole new, like it uses like almost all new game functions, which I found really fascinating. And I was like, oh, I don't know. But obviously none of you guys.
I haven't got a chance to crack that one.
Yeah. So like, I'm kind of curious. I was like, oh, I'm interested in it, but I like how it was already. But you know, but then it's like, do you want to play the same game over and over and over and over and over again? So yeah, no, I mean, I guess that. I mean, I played it, like, it was a couple months ago, so it's not like super fresh in my head, but yeah, that was the one that I was like super into. And then, so I beat that. And then after that, I kind of actually was just like, I don't know. I was like feeling nostalgic, and I started playing Yooka-Laylee again. Like,
wow.
Yeah, like I was just like I think I just there's like two sides of me. It's like the like video games. I like ultra violent, or I like I like cute fun, whatever, like bouncing around.
Let's collect everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything.
Yeah, so I started playing Yooka-Laylee, and I was like, I think I was just like in a banjo mood. I was just like, I want to play Banjo-Kazooie, but I already played Banjo-Kazooie, and I was like,
I'm a lot of banjos.
Yeah, and I was like, well, Banjo-Tooie's not. It's not on the Switch Online yet.
Really?
I'm assuming it's going to be. So I was like, oh, you know what? In the meantime, since like, and again, that game's like on sale all the time. I think I got it for like $3 because that game is so old and like it's not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Asterisk there.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, no, I started playing that again, and then I guess I go through this cycle where I start playing it and I go like, why did I stop playing this? Like, I like it so much. But then I get to a point in the game where I go, oh,
that's
like
what it is.
It kind of like it just like, it's not even bad. It's just like it just becomes less interesting in a way where like the Banjo games like didn't.
Well, the problem is that you're so busy collecting. Like, there are a lot of things to collect in that game. By the time you're like, I got like this note which does this to unlock this thing, and then I collect the honeycombs in that way unlocks this, and like, you know, there's so many things to remember to keep track of. You're like, I can't remember what, like, it's too much of a collective value. Like, it overblew Banjo-Kazooie's
Right.
on.
Yeah.
But see, is it fun? I don't know. It's kind of a little long now. And the tonics kind of changed the gameplay there. And...
Yeah, the tonics seem sort of like superfluous, if I'm using that word right. And I also feel like I think the biggest flaw of that game for me is like the level design. I think is kind of crap.
Yeah.
And I think I realized that the first time, but like in my head I was just like, oh, I just like how Banjo games are. And so I like started playing it, and I'm kind of near the end of the game. I think I've collected almost enough stuff, I think, to like just enter the end game sequences. And I feel like at this point I'm just kind of like I'm over it now. Like I'm just like, but it's like there's only 5 levels, so it feels kind of like for a game that's like that, like few levels. I feel like you shouldn't feel that way. Right. You should be like. Because like the whole point of the game is you go into a level and then you leave and you can expand it later, and like the whole point is like you expand it, and it just feels like that whole function seems like pointless because it's like, okay, like I'm just gonna like leave right now and then come back in and make it the big land,
right?
But no, yeah, I mean that's what I'm playing now. I think I'm pretty close to the end game. I mean it's still like, I still have fun. It does feel a little bit like, what everyone was saying at the time about it being kind of dated, but yeah, that's what I'm playing now. Not. I mean, it's super.
Still on the Switch, I imagine.
Yeah, how I am. I'm a Switch boy.
What happened to that piece? That beautiful PC, Andy?
No, I know. I've been. I'm actually. I'm probably gonna get into that soon again.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
Well, I've been.
Join us, Andy.
I know. I've been like.
We have all the games.
I think I talked about this last time where I was like, I want to get on the PC so I can play Death Stranding again. And I think you got mad at me last time where you're like, you stupid mother. There's so many games out there, and you're gonna play Death Stranding again.
But see, the director's cut's out there though. See.
Well, that's the thing.
It's gonna be different.
It's gonna be more stealth action.
It's gonna be dumber.
It's gonna be a little dumber.
I cannot wait to talk about Death Stranding 2. And then Nas is like, but the high was cool though.
see, he has to cross bridges, and he's like ports things around.
Yes,
Sam Porter.
Bridges.
Oh my god!
You just put it together right now.
My god, Kojima's a genius. Have some money.
But no, and then you said last time, like, he's basically just kind of like flaunting his like
Hollywood.
I know this, and I know him, and I know her, and blah 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 blah, and yeah, there's a lot of that, but. I mean, I'm still like, we
stay tuned to the podcast for Metal Gear updates, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, you might hear some stuff. Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Yeah. Other things. So I'll talk about one more game thing. Star Wars Hunters on Switch also. It's I don't know if either of you have heard about it. It was like
what the hell's that in? So
basically, it's the Switch's answer to. I think maybe it's on other things. So correct me if I'm wrong. But it's essentially Star Wars Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
Basically, yeah. It's a 4v4. And I played it just once with my brother and cousin. Just to kind of like, oh, like this is new, this is interesting. And yeah, it's like I did enjoy it because it was kind of, and I think the thing with Overwatch is like there's so much, it's like so hectic, and I feel like it can be kind of like overwhelming in a sense, and I feel like, and I kind of saying this in a positive way, it felt like a dumbed down Overwatch, like where it's like more like it's more accessible, and it's Star Wars. So like I'm just
Star Wars doesn't hurt. Star Wars
and like, and that's the thing I realized. It's like, you could just like make anything, and if you just slap Star Wars on it and you make it like playable and like functional, and the Star Wars part of my brain just like fills up that much more enjoyment of being like,
I forget that from time to time that you're quite the Star Wars fan.
No, it's I don't call myself one, but then like in moments like that, I'm like, of course I am. Like, what the hell? Like, I think I just hate the fandom so much where I'm just like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I just
I can see that.
Yeah, the fandom just blows. So I'm just like, I distance myself, but then like I get sucked back into the world and I'm like, oh, I like this so much still. Like I'm still really into it. Are you seeing the game there?
Yeah, I was just looking, because it's a free-to-play game.
Yeah, and it's free to play.
Oh, no.
So that was the big kicker. So
there are heroes here.
Yeah,
If you're wondering, there are heroes.
How many Republican credits do you have to spend on this, Andy?
I haven't paid any Republican credits yet.
Imperial?
Money, yes.
But there's some funny character designs, and I think that's part of the, like, you can tell it doesn't take itself seriously. Like, one of the characters is 2 Jawas stacked on top of each other, like, walking
like a
around.
trench coat?
Yeah, like a trench coat. Like a big, like they're big Jawa, but they're just standing on each other.
Stuck in that rated R movie?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, Mom's doing the research live right now.
I like the best one. There's a robot I think is a Jedi.
Yeah, there's a robot droid.
course.
There's a Sith, obviously. There's some,
There's gotta
and
be
then like
one.
there's like a Wookiee, and which is like the heavy like class where
that makes sense. at
and it
least.
kind of like I mean,
There's even Char Ray.
Char?
Yeah, there's a character named Char.
Oh my god, really? That's funny.
wait, which one is that one?
Gundam fans.
It's like, I was like,
Oh yeah, I haven't unlocked that one
Does
yet.
he have a big red mecha suit and a mask?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few
No.
characters I haven't unlocked, but no, it's fun. It's just like a stupid little like it's good because it's free. It's just like how could you not like? I think that's also helping the enjoyment. Like it's Star Wars and it's free and all that
It's on
stuff.
the console you love.
On the console I love.
Your family's playing it.
Yeah.
It started this year.
Okay.
And it came out like a few weeks ago.
Oh,
I mean,
so it's pretty fresh.
it's super fresh.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
I mean, I've only played it
surprised
once.
I missed it.
Yeah. I recommend you give it a shot. Yeah.
And please add me to your friends list, please.
There you go. Use the promo code underneath Otaku to get your free Han Solo skin.
Yeah. Exactly. You guys have that, right?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, that's kind of that's all like the game stuff. I don't have a ton else to say, but I will. So other stuff. I'll try not to keep this too long.
You have a lot of time to make up for Andy. You gotta,
I know that's true.
Gotta cash it in. Cash
So
it in.
I will say. So speaking of hating on Star Wars fans, I don't have either of you watched any of the Acolyte.
We
Not
haven't,
yet.
but we watch other Star Wars.
We're
media.
getting there.
We're working our way there, Andy.
Okay, so wait, like what other Star Wars? Like
Stay tuned. You'll find out in the weeks.
oh, okay.
A lot of teasers going on. Don't change that channel,
Oh wow.
listener.
Oh man, I gotta
got
catch
Star Wars
up.
updates
I need to
and
catch
everything.
up.
We've been through a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna. It's been a minute. I gotta start getting into this.
There you
again.
go.
Okay, but so yeah, so I won't give any spoilers to the Acolyte, but I will say so. I started watching it very recently, and I would not have watched this if I hadn't heard all the people like hating on it. Like it's like one of those typical like Rotten Tomatoes where all the critics hate it and all the fans hate it. And I was like, oh, this feels like another Last Jedi moment. So like. And like we've talked about Last Jedi, like how we don't necessarily love it, but like we don't hate it like a lot of people hate it, I think. And so like I feel like a lot of people were kind of feeling that way about Acolyte. So I started watching it, and like I've seen 2 episodes, and I'm like, I don't get why people hate it as much as they do. Like like I'm kind of like mind boggled.
Right.
Like, and like I listened to a couple people talking about it, and I was just like, and I don't want to get into like crazy like weird political reasons like about, and I feel like maybe that's some of the reason why.
Could be, sadly.
But like I don't know, like it was just like, I mean, it wasn't like blowing me away. I wasn't like, oh my god, like you know how I was like gushing about Andor before. Like I love Andor so much.
Indeed.
Like it's nowhere near what I felt about Andor. But like I don't know, like it was just like I've only seen 2 episodes, but so far I'm just like, yeah, it's just like a Star Wars show. I don't know, like I don't know. I think it's fine so far. I'll let you know if I hate it, but so far I give it like a B. Like
sounds like a future podcast, perhaps.
maybe.
Well, I think because a lot
that.
they're trying to go to the High Republic area now because they're trying to get away from everything they did in the past. It's like
Skywalker.
Right.
let's just like we're going backwards. We're 100 years before. None of that matters anymore. We're clean start. We have a clean thing. And people say, but where's my Jedi? Where's the Luke? Where's the Force? Where's the little Grogu? Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not here.
No
yet?
Mandalorian, no deal.
You know, and then people that's like, but this is not what I know, and that's the hard part with because they're always trying to like, what is Star Wars now? Because they're trying like, well, maybe try this now because we're trying to leave of what they did with the future trilogy, right? They're trying to leave that and like, let's go back to look, there's Boba Fett. Look, there's all the.
They're going so far back that they're going reverse. And it's funny because like when I think about the sequel trilogy, I do kind of like, it does make me kind of like, I guess, cringe a little bit, like in terms of like the full, like when you think about the full sequel trilogy as like a whole thing, it's like, yeah, it wasn't really great, but I mean,
bad.
But like, I don't know, prequels weren't great either, and like, but like the whole like, anyway.
The sad part is, in a weird way, I'm trying to. I don't like the prequels, but I guess I have more appreciation for them.
Sure,
because at least George was trying to be different, and they are different.
Yeah.
They're not good, but they're different.
Right.
While the new movies is just Star Wars again.
Right.
So
and then
it wins.
And then that's really what comes down to it, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's like missing George Lucas. You can really feel it now. Like I don't know. You know, it's just a hit or miss property.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it's just like it's either going to be crap or, well, I mean, and some people will say Acolyte's the trashiest thing ever, and I'm just like, that's fine. I don't know, whatever.
Well, I think there might be worse. There might be worse.
Yeah, we've been.
There's some good competition out there in the Star Wars universe if you want trash.
Yeah, we saw all of it.
But yeah, so that's my take on Acolyte. It's fine. That's what I feel. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good or fine. Okay, some other. I'm just gonna go through this pretty quick. Saw Raging Bull for the first time. That's a random thing.
Oh, that is
throw it in movie. I don't know.
That's a random.
And
I realized that is my favorite Martin Scorsese movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's.
It just like I was watching it.
I mean, well, no, there could be there could be worse choice. There can be. I say there can't be a band worse than that. No, there could be.
Well, I've seen so few, and I feel like I don't know anything about Shutter Island, but I've heard that's not.
What have you seen out of his?
I've seen
movies?
okay. Oh, jeez. Taxi Driver.
Okay. That's actually surprising.
Goodfellas. This is off the top of my head. Departed, which I barely even remember it, so I feel like that doesn't even count anymore. Like I was like I only remember the twist ending. That's like the only thing I remember about the movie. It was like, oh, there he is again.
It's that guy.
Yeah. And then
Casino.
I haven't seen Casino.
Hugo.
I haven't seen Hugo. Oh, that's supposed to be the bad one, I think, right?
It's not good.
And I haven't seen The Irishman. There's like a couple other ones.
Oh,
so like those are like really.
Shutter Island.
Haven't seen
What's the
that.
other? Mean Streets. I think it was
Mean
like one of
Streets.
his
I haven't
first
seen
ones.
Wolf of Wall
I like
Street.
Shutter Island.
Oh, yeah,
I haven't seen that. No.
Shutter Island's pretty good.
Shutter Island's pretty good. Yeah.
But no, yeah, like I think, and then I didn't realize that. Like I was like, oh, Raging Bull is in a lot of ways like a similar story to Goodfellas, and I'm like, oh, this is like almost the same. Like he's kind of like up and coming, and then he's like he's very abusive to his wife, and like the whole like it just felt a lot like Goodfellas, and it's like, oh, he's like Goodfellas is like Raging Bull's a true story, obviously.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
too.
Goodfellas is sort of like a fictionalized version of telling that story.
Right.
But I just loved it. Like I was just like, I don't know. Maybe it was just like the boxing scenes were very like dreamlike and everything.
Right.
I really like. I mean, it's like, some of it is aged a bit, but like, if you think about it, like in that time capsule, like
exactly. When you realize when it happened.
Yeah, when that and just the story of the guy itself.
Right.
I was like, at the end, like I didn't even know it was a true story until I finished it, and I was like, oh my god, this piece of shit is a real person.
He's a real human being,
and he did all this stuff. I was like,
Yup.
that's so crazy. And they actually used like some of the footage, I think, from his boxing days.
I believe so.
So that's like really what made me really like it. Like finding all that out, I was just like, yeah. So that was just a discovery for me. I was like, oh my god, I love this movie so much. And Joe Pesci, oh my god, those like dirtbag brothers, like so good. Yeah, I mean that's my take on that.
Good.
And then
join the classics.
Yeah.
Join the classics.
I feel like you must have seen. I finally saw Beatles Love in Vegas.
The show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never saw it. And then
What the fuck?
yeah. So like the show was like, oh, we're leaving forever.
Yes.
So like me and my wife were like, oh my god, we have to see this. And we were like, whoa. Like I was like not expecting it to be as good as it was, but I don't know if you guys, did you see it too?
We saw it, and we saw it. Well, I'll get to our story, but I have like a sad, bittersweet ending.
Oh yeah,
we've seen it twice.
Yeah,
I've seen it twice,
Uh-huh.
and then we found out just like you that they're closing it. So I had to take Miles over to go see it before they closed it.
Oh, nice.
When was this, Miles? Already so blurred now.
It was
the
like
end of last year.
End of last year, because there was only taking over because now it's a hard rock.
It's gonna be a
The
big old
Mirage.
guitar, right?
At that time, we got a deal if you sign up with their system.
Oh yeah, because because it was an MGM property and they just officially left it to the Hard Rock people and they switched to the Players Club. And at the time there was a promo. Oh, sign up for our membership and we'll give you a discount on tickets.
Huh.
So we got a little bonus there.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, no, I was just like, when I heard the news that they were closing, I'm like, I have to see this. And then I'm so glad I did. Like, it was truly something else. And the one thing that stood out to me the most was the bed part, where like the sheets. I was like, am I like, I was sober as hell, but great. I was like, I'm tripping out by what I'm seeing, because I think what you see closer to, and like, I guess for people that are listening, so basically like there's a part where like there's like a bed in the middle of the stage and there's a kid on it, and then there's like a couple other people on it, and then suddenly the bed rises and the sheets of the bed expand across like the whole stage, and I think audience. Even into the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
And like, and then it just bounces up and down, and it's like, and then the blankets like literally look like waves. Like they look like ocean waves, but it's a huge blanket and there's like lights going over it. And I was just like, I felt like I was on drugs. I was like, this is so surreal.
Oh,
like
shit, it's kicking in now. Damn
yeah,
it.
it's like I took drugs. I didn't even know what was in
shit.
that water.
I mean,
like
it's Vegas.
it
Anything
is
can happen.
Vegas. That's
He
true.
was
Stays there and all that.
He was feeling the love, you might say.
I was feeling the love. I was feeling the Beatles love.
There you go.
And man, I'm just so happy I did because I mean, did you? I was curious. Were you ever down there when the did you see what happens under there? Is what I'm curious under that.
It's just a big blanket hovering. You're just kind of everyone's putting their hands underneath the blanket and kind of lifting the blanket up and just keep it. It's kind of like for those who I don't know if this thing kids do anymore in elementary school, but maybe you did you do this, Andy, with the ball and everyone pulled the thing with the ball and put in the hole. It's basically a tripped out version of that concept where everyone's pulling the big blanket. And then everyone's waving the bed sheet / the ball to make the effect happen, and everyone gets to trip out because when I saw it the first time, I took my mom in because she's a big Beatles fan, and we sat right in the front row in the stage. I don't to this day I have no idea how I got those tickets, but I got those tickets and it's some stupid price and blah 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 blah.
But
it was pretty neat to.
Yeah,
it was good and bad because like you were right there, but also you were kind of like, what's happening? Because you had to turn your head sometimes a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I feel like that's the cool thing about the show. I'm like, go see it, but it's probably gone now. I don't know. It's soon. It's pretty fucking soon.
The next few
July,
months.
I think, is leaving sometime.
Yeah,
but yeah, because I feel like anywhere, like I was like realizing, I'm like, oh, if I was sitting over there, I would be seeing this better, and if I was over there, I'd be seeing certain things better.
Right,
so it's like it almost like suggests revisiting because like you can experience a different show.
You do. There's a lot to see because it's like a 360 stage basically. And if you're focused over here, you're missing this guy doing this thing over here.
Yeah. Or you're like, you're so looking at this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the neat thing. So when I took Miles last time,
it's July 7th.
July 7th.
That's like in a week.
Jeez. So if you're listening to this podcast now, welcome. Hello. How's the drive on the 15 heading north to Las Vegas?
Right. Yeah.
It's a little hot out there, I imagine, but you're getting closer there.
Yeah,
don't miss it.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Don't miss it, folks.
That's crazy.
It's very good. But when I took Miles, we sat more like a section or two, like probably in like the middle tier, but a little bit back. So we had a bigger perspective to see taking everything. So it was kind of neat to see, from really close to a little bit more pulled back to see the show. But it's a great show.
Yeah, it's like worth it no matter where you sit, where you're gonna get, and Come Together was so good. The light spotlights, and then boom boom. Yeah, that was amazing. So yeah, that was that was very, very good.
Yes.
So and
I almost died watching it last time.
Oh yeah. What happened?
COVID.
Oh shit.
Caught COVID in Vegas. And literally was the last night of our trip. And literally I sat in bed all day, sucking up, trying to get better. And then showtime. I dragged my ass, walked our way to the Mirage, and saw the show burning up to like 1,005 degrees.
Oh man.
And me like, I'm tripping out, but not the good kind of tripping out.
Oh wow.
But yes, that was the
intense flu symptoms.
Yes, and apparently I'm also very good at covering my germs because Miles never got sick the whole trip.
That's good.
So just me suffering that show.
Yeah.
But Miles had a good time, and the point was to make sure Miles saw the show.
I mean, we managed to come out of there slightly alive.
But I was definitely full of drugs and cough, sucking down cough drops every 2 seconds, trying to. Oh god! Oh, this show, like part of me's like, this show's amazing. I mean, I'm dying.
A lot of takeout burgers and drinks we had to get. It was like
room service.
It was a bit of a sad. The first few days of the trip, good. The last few days, not so much.
It was like a staycation at the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was fine till we get to the Brewdog. After the Brewdog, that's when it went downhill from there.
Something like that. But yes, the show, very good.
Yeah. So go see it if you can. I'm almost thinking, I feel like they're gonna do like a Disney Plus thing one day, and then that'll be really cool.
I
feel like they will. They have to. I don't know. It's like a new era.
It would be weird if they don't, because it's gone from the Mirage, and I don't know if anyone said or anything because I haven't checked in that news, but someone surely wants to pick up that show,
of course,
and do it on their casino floor somewhere. So,
or if it'll go somewhere else,
or
somewhere else, different part of the country, or something.
They do also travel the Cirque people.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. They go like on tour or something,
right?
But yeah, so that's and the last thing. Do you guys know an anime called Michiko Hatchin?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Oh, Michiko Hatchin? Yeah,
that's a bird.
So
one?
this is like a cover like album.
Oh, Michi. Yes. Okay. Didn't Watanabe work on it?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a producer or something.
So you're vaguely aware.
I'm aware of it, and I know like I've seen pictures and
It's on the list.
yeah, it's basically one of those.
Oh, okay.
I mean to watch it, but I haven't gone
Oh,
there
okay.
yet.
Well, I haven't seen it either, but someone sent it to me and said this music is amazing, and like it was so good that I was like, I kind of want to watch this now. So yeah,
It must be the.
It must be Yoko.
It must be Yoko
Kanno.
yeah. It's like, I mean, it's like I think it's sort of like
The late could be asleep and she still writes good music.
Because I don't think he directed this. I want to say it was a producer, but they're the same people that worked on like the Cowboy Bebop and stuff.
Oh, really?
I'm guessing. I don't know this for a fact.
Well, it stylistically, especially the music, like it's kind of giving that sort of like that contemporary jazz, like very fun and like you know, I don't listen to jazz, but like I can really listen to this, like similar to like Cowboy Bebop sort of thing. So yeah, if you want like. All I know is that show's got great music, so if you want a show with great music, I can speak to the music being very, very good.
The soundtrack is great.
So the soundtrack...
The anime, I don't know, but the soundtrack...
The story could be shit, but this music, you could hate the characters and everything, but
that soundtrack...
You close your eyes, you're going to love it, I swear.
Just going down that MP3.
The openings are kind of but you know, but the music is banging. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I mean, I feel like we've gone on for long enough, and yeah, those are my.
Well, you've been gone long enough. It's okay.
You almost brought an anime to the podcast, Andy. So
I know.
So close. 6 months.
But
you
know, so close.
We got there.
That's all I gotta say about that anime.
At least you brought an anime to the party.
So close.
So close.
You had 6 months, Andy. This is what you bring me. A soundtrack.
Like this, like this. What's that over there? Is that?
So you just need the art, the animation.
I really haven't been watching like other than movies. I haven't, and then the Acolyte, but I haven't watched like any shows really. I'm like trying to think of anything other than like trash TV, but whatever.
Well, we don't talk about the trash TV.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about trash TV.
Everyone's favorite reality TV shows.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's it for me.
All right then, Andy. All right, Miles. It sounds like it's your turn at the bat, son. What do you got for us today?
Good question. Other than watching a slew of video game trailers,
indeed,
I guess I've been most of I guess trying to beat Rebirth, but I keep getting pulled at the end.
Sephiroth still kicking your ass.
Yeah, apparently, and that's why I think he does not want me to win. And I'm playing more Star Rail, you know, because I guess 2.3 just dropped. It's the final part, I guess, of where we're at.
How much money have we dropped, brother?
None yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried because this is the big one.
This is the big one.
This is the big.
The best waifus are here now.
Well, I'm saying
the finest waifus.
So like, you know, like
from Japan or China.
Like right now, I guess the current banner, or whatever we call it, like character banner right now, it's on like hotkeys because in a way this game is kind of like stupidly smart, in which because they all the way from like I guess 2.0, like the first version, like the 2.0 update. You know, they keep teasing this character's whole damn time, like, you know, ins and outs, like a lot of drama, a lot of like, you know, tugging your heartstrings, right? And now she's actually available to get in her banner now.
There you go.
So everyone's like going, "Oh shoot, here we go!" And just pull.
And by her banner, I mean unlockable to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, okay,
gonna have to add all the waifu lingo here.
Banner,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Andy.
so like,
gotta keep up with you guys.
Genshin's the same way, but in Star Rail, pretty much there's three types of banners. There's character banners. There's light cone better, I guess, ability banners, and then there's your standard your standard regular pulls, I guess. And so right now the goal is you want to get the normal character banners, because those are like only like the next like 20 days, or like usually like 3 weeks, I guess. And they switch out for the next one. So you know, right now what's her name? Firefly, yeah. So
Firefly.
Yeah, because that's the name of the character that's on right now. But no, they weave her so much into the story. So, you know, I guess like it tugs everyone's heartstrings. Like, ooh.
Is she gonna get canceled too, and hoping for another movie?
It's just that, you know, this character's like flying off. Like, it's like the highest selling character right now, and they go after like maybe 3 or 4 days, and she's selling like they're printing.
The artists are working. The money's flowing.
I'm surprised that, you know, we're at the convention and there was
I was gonna say
there was no art her yet, because they're like, you know, how boring character she is in the story arc so far. But you know, like, you know, they're people are spending a lot of money on her because it goes like, okay, it's like, say you pull it and you get her, yay, you know, you got a new character, right? And it says like, but you know, she only has this certain abilities. Now if you pull her again,
there you go.
You see, then you unlock one of her other special abilities, because they all have they'll have 6 special abilities you get only if you pull them yet again.
Mhm.
So in theory, you have to pull a character 7 times in a row, 7 times.
So Andy, so this is like, so you've been watching Martin Scorsese's movie. This is basically casino happening here, where people are just going to the slot machine and pulling all the time, hoping for the waifu to drop.
And see, the thing is, you go online. You go to you go to the warp tracker. I think it's like Starville Station warp tracker, and you can calculate how many pulls you need to get everything you want. And it was like something.
And the house always wins.
But the pull rate goes up, though.
Yeah.
Right? See, the pull rate goes up, and they're like, "Oh, you have a better chance."
Just one more spin, it's gonna pay. It's gonna pay.
And then, of course, after you get the character, then you have to get her light cone, or I guess her special ability card.
Of course.
And that one could max up to 5. So if you get that, so if you,
5 more times.
If you get that card 5 more times, you can level it to the maximum, and then you love that thing by puffing up, and you get all the abilities of this character, and that rinse and repeat, and that's what we do every 3 weeks, I guess.
Healthy.
This is totally fine. Don't worry, it's okay, folks. It's okay. I save all my, I guess, jades for this moment. It's okay. I just haven't pulled it yet because I haven't played the story yet, or finish the story arc. So as I'm waiting to finish that, then I'll probably pull for it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not crazy. And
I can stop anytime.
I know I did not say my top ups because if you spend money on a game getting the jades, if you say say you spend you can spend up to $100 if you want.
Only?
Yeah. Oh.
Not gonna win her that way.
Yeah. Well, I have to say. See, you save your top ups, because if you top up say you buy a certain number you get. If you buy it the first time, then you get double the amount of jades. Like if you have $100 is like 3,240 jades. And but if you buy it the first time you bought it since they updated the 2.0 update, you get a bonus 364 jades. So you double though.
So I'm losing money not playing this game.
Yes.
Okay, makes
now
sense.
You're
I'm
on
not
the
crazy.
ticket.
Now I'm getting
this
it.
is fine. And see, and like you said, the house. As long as you keep rolling in, pull. Don't think about it. Just pull. So that's been my week.
All right. So a big. I was gonna realize what I was gonna say. I was like, nah, that sounds a little too dirty. Sounds too dirty. But well,
roll the dice.
Pretty boys and pretty girls. It sounds like in your week, Miles. Let's say that.
There you go. I like Casino. Casino's also a good film.
It's dependent. I guess you gotta argue which one's the real demon out there chasing your money and doing you real damage. It's debatable at this point.
But she's so adorable to do it, though.
There you go. She's so cute when she takes all my money.
Yeah, she does it very she asks it very nicely and say, "Here you go. Here's the wallet. Here's the house."
There you go. I don't need a roof anymore. All right, so that's time for my week here. So let's see. I got, I think, 3 things to talk about. I'll go with the video game first one. So, time for the shameless plug-in, everyone. Look forward to this. So, on
it's time for the shameless
Twitch TV /SD_Shonen, I have been playing the first Hades game.
Oh.
Which, have you ever played the Hades, Andy?
No, I know it's, I know of it, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is my first time diving into it, because the second one came out, or at least early access, so I'm like, oh, I bought that first one. I should probably fucking actually play it now. So I was dabbled that while streaming live on the internet. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 7 and 9 o'clock.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
So I've been playing that, and pretty good. I'm not a rogue-like person, question mark. I vaguely know what this genre of gaming is. But now playing a little bit of this, I have a better understanding, I think, of what that means. Where basically you just do things over and over again until you get a little bit better, a little bit faster, and go a little bit further.
A little bit here, a little bit there, and just keep doing it over again.
Yes.
And the levels are sort of randomly generated?
Yes,
right?
They are randomly generated.
Yeah, that's the one thing I know for sure about roguelikes is that every level can be different.
I guess I didn't realize, but that would make sense that it would be that way.
If I was like, it's like, maybe this is a silly example, but like Diablo-y kind of, or no?
I've never played Diablo.
Oh yeah, me neither. So. I know what it looks
just like that game we've never played.
Ah, shit. Yeah. Well, terrible reference. Like it's like that, right? I don't know.
Yes, it's definitely just the way my mother used to show me.
Yeah, like the anime I didn't watch, right?
That's what the great soundtrack.
This is the best conversation. You know what I'm talking about? No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just like that.
Me neither.
Though, right? Yeah. All right.
I'm glad we're on the same reference. We don't have the same basic understanding here. Everyone's just lost. Fair enough.
Boy.
But yes, Hades. So yes, I thought I was gonna get tired of the repetitions of like, oh, here we go again, this and that. Oh, I choked this time, this that. But what keeps me going, and I guess I didn't know this about this game, is like they really try to focus on like little story and narrative beats all the time in the game, where you'll come back and there's Hades sitting at the disc, like, oh son, you're still trying to get out here, you'll never get out of here. But there's just a lot of voiceover, a lot of a lot of acting, and a lot of characters you have a little conversation with, and slowly but surely you know get a little bit more of their backstory and history. And if you're into Greek mythology, this is definitely up your alley, which as a kid I was, but it's been a very long time. So like hearing these names, I'm like, oh, this is the guy that does this, and the god of so and so, right?
Yeah.
Zeus gets along a lot. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. Let's say.
Yeah, he likes going to parking a lot of different spots. Let's just say that.
Indeed. So yeah, I do like the fact because and it's always something new. It doesn't repeat itself. There's always some new line of dialogue. So if you get stuck on a certain boss, you'll make a new comment like, oh, you won't cut me this time, or this won't happen like last time. But it's just, I like this shit because I mentioned before, like when Shenmue came out, I thought that was the coolest thing where there was more than 2 or 3 takes of the line of the situation, and they do that in this game. So I'm like, oh, I love it every bit. And like I said, the fact that you get more character growth and stuff like that, history and this and that, you slowly unreveal the mystery as you get further and further a little bit beyond. And the different weapons and the way you can level up and the different strategies you have, like, oh, should I go for the money and upgrade this? Do I go for the small permanent upgrade? Oh, should I go for the super god ability that I really like? So you can pay your pick your favorite gods with the different abilities. Right now I'm an Athena fan because basically with a lot of her abilities you could deflect any projectile attacks coming your way, especially if you just like dash around. So I just love dashing around and using their attacks to do damage to the enemies.
The Sonic lover, did not like
and also,
dashing
I was gonna
around?
say, right behind would be Hermes, where you get a lot of, you move faster, you attack faster, you dash more.
As a classic
Gotta
podcast,
go fast.
gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
You can't touch me if you die. You gotta go fast.
It just, I'm proving that with Zelda, and I'm trying to prove that here in Hades as well. That's what I do. But yes, so yeah, it's just overall, I was surprised how much of a good time I'm having with it. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep going on that one, but that one I am gonna go offline, I guess, on Hades, so I could get into it a little bit more. Since I'm still planning my next. I'll have something to stream. Hey, record the podcast on Saturday, people. So to me, I'll have something new to play tomorrow on Twitch TV. But go follow me on Twitch TV and hang out with me on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday nights. That's when I do the thing. I will tease this. It'll be something on the Nintendo Switch. So there you go. Something to look forward to in the coming weeks. So yes, that has been my journey so far in Hades, having a good time, and hopefully I'll have an update next time on the podcast about that. See if I could finally get the hell out of there. Shoot me now. All right. So my next thing I have on my list is actually I pulled a Miles and I read a manga.
Oh, there we go.
I've decided I've gone back my ways because I need a break from One Piece. I don't know if you know this or not, Andy. I've been on the One Piece journey.
I thought you've been doing that like forever, right?
And I'm still there.
You're still there.
Still there. I think I'm on the second, not the current story arc, but the one before it. So
Okay.
I'm almost catching up. I'm almost there.
Well, I remember when I had to fly somewhere once recently, or it was like maybe 2 years ago actually. But the Uber driver that was taking me there was like super into anime. And we kind of talked about it a little bit, and I was like, oh, what is like one anime that you really recommend right now? And he said like One Piece. It's in the best, like it's in its best moment now. So I don't know if like, well, I mean, I guess the manga is different.
Now 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That would have been where I'm at.
It was probably yeah. So
Be my guess.
do you agree?
So the quick version of One Piece, it's fine. It's fine. I like it more. For those who first time turned in the podcast, I tend to sound like a hater when it comes to popular shonen titles.
Well, some of them are deserving of that hate.
And some of them aren't very good, if you ask me. But One Piece was the one I'm like, well, I've never really. Well, I started it, but kind of fell off it like way back in the day. And I'm like, well, I don't like current shonen. Let's go back to my old shonen and go start with One Piece, and started in the 90s, which is right up my alley. And like I said, I'm almost caught up, and I like it. I think the problem is it feels like the first half of the series where I'm at, which for those who know is before Wano. It's slow. It's very slow. And a lot of it, in retrospect, looking back on it, I've already been like, well, we could have just cut that. I would have let, I don't think about this. they spend a lot of time, and then just certain story arcs aren't as good as other ones. And then 2 at the end, or 2/3, the other thing is the character designs are just still never going to be my thing. I know some people could easily look the other way and like, oh, it's fun, it's Karen, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's, because to me, it's like when I left Western cartoons for anime, it's like, this is real serious cartoons. And you look at One Piece, like, I'm back to Saturday morning cartoons. It feels like I've gone backwards a little bit, but surprising overall, it doesn't bug me as much as I thought it would. But it's never gonna win me over. I'm never gonna be like, oh, this artwork is amazing. I'm gonna be like, it's okay, it's fine. But yeah, the overall One Piece, it's fine. But I needed a break, so I read this manga instead. And this is I guess it's technically labeled as a comedy romance series. This is something definitely probably up Miles and maybe Ivan's alley, since they're more comedy romance people. There's no anime out for it, so it's pretty fresh from Japan. Not yet.
Japan's working on it right now.
I'll give it a year or two, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's an anime adaptation. This one is called You and I Are Polar Opposites. Takes place in high school. I know, very shocking. Very shocking. Don't hear that very often.
What? Next thing you know, tell me you're playing college.
Exactly. And it stars a boy and a girl, surprising, in a romance comedy series in high school. But the female lead is more of a energetic, maybe kind of a garu, if you know what a garu is. A
fashionista.
Yes. A very kind of popular, energetic kid, if you will. And then the other romantic interest, the male counterpart, is a pretty quiet, reserved boy named Tani, I believe is his last name. And that's why, as you can imagine with the title, they are very polar opposites of each other personality-wise. But because, she's very energetic and talkative, and, she sees him, he's like, oh, he's so quiet, and he's so smart and cool, calm and collective, like, that's so cool. And from his perspective, it's like, oh, she's so energetic and talkful, and she bothers talking to me, she's so nice, and she's so popular, blah, blah, blah. So, it's surprisingly, the cool thing about it is, in the opening chapters, minor spoiler, they actually just hook up. It just happens. Versus most anime manga series, it takes about the whole fucking series.
No.
I like you.
Hey, after after 435 chapters, it might maybe.
Yeah, they might have.
Maybe.
But wait, here comes the best friend interrupting the confession scene. Oh no, and we're back to zero.
And we'll do this again for another 450 chapters.
Classic.
So already, from this alone, already had my intention. And it was just a curiosity of how are these personalities going to work out? Because, it seems unlikely.
Are there polar opposites of each other?
So I was kind of curious to see, is this author going to be able to sell this? And the answer is yes, because the author actually is a hell of a writer and knows what to do when it comes to being a young fool and trying to figure out what it is to be in a romantic relationship and what it is to be in love and fall in love and what you look for in other people and this and that. And it's just very refreshing because, like I said, early on, they're a couple. There's other supporting cast that actually gets time in the spotlight. Everyone has their own little backstory and their little character motivations that makes them. And there's more potential love on the battlefield as well.
But there's no Max. There's no Shonen.
And it's and the other thing is the art style. It's not very it's a comedy romance, right? So it's not very action oriented like a Dragon Ball Z or something. But it's also not super adorable and cute like a shoujo title. Yeah. It's kind of a little bit more cartoony, I guess, but not super.
Yeah.
It's just it's a unique art style that I feel most people would be like, oh, this is kind of boring looking, and maybe it is, to be honest. But I guess it's different enough that it caught my attention. And what I said, what's shining for me is the writing. And like I said, the supporting cast are real characters that have their own issues and they're going through it all. And I found myself relating a lot to many characters in the series, which is very rare.
You found a you in here yet?
Situations. Like I said, there is one character that I would probably say is definitely me. But like I said, there's surprisingly little parts of them. I'm like, oh, that's also a little bit like me. Oh, wait, that's also a little bit like me. So it's been a while since I've seen anything from Japan that I can relate to on multiple levels.
All I know is that there's a Nendoroid of Kiwi from the jellyfish, the one that's based to you.
Oh, the VTuber. Yes.
Yeah, that one. That's a perfect.
Me and that girl, we have very similar vibes.
Yeah,
a lot of editing. We both have to deal with editing. Look forward to the next.
Work? Why
yes,
work?
that's the next podcast.
Why do I need to work? Why go outside?
There you go. Stay inside. Do some more video editing while you're at it. Don't forget to stream and work on that TikTok. Oh, fun times working on it. But yes, this is a cute little series that I don't think is getting enough attention. I know I just scrolled on the app on the what's the one
Manga
Miles?
Plus?
Manga Plus. There's where the One Piece and all the Shonen Jump stuff is at.
Because after a while,
There's too many of them. But it's cheap. It's like $2 a month. You can read all this manga. Like I said, action, comedy, romance, comedy, just flat out comedy. Anything you can think about, they got it on this service for $2. And if you're comedy romance, I highly recommend checking out this series because it's doing a lot of good stuff. And hopefully there's an anime adaptation. Hopefully more people can appreciate what's going on because good stuff happening on that one. And then lastly, the best teaser for Andy here. So, Andy, me and Miles have been on the Star Wars
how fitting
journey.
That's a way to put it.
Indeed. And so we've seen the Clone Wars 3D CG version.
Wow.
We've seen that.
All of it.
The movie or the show, right?
We saw the movie and the show, which are connected supposedly.
We saw everything.
Yeah, the movie's like really, really, really old now, right?
Yeah, it's really old because it was like the first thing, and then they made the TV show. Which I didn't know there was a fucking movie till we started this journey, and I had to look it up.
Wow.
And then after that, and I didn't know this either till Miles told me this. After that series, there's another one called Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Which we just recently finished.
Wow.
And now this week we started watching Ahsoka.
Oh, okay, the live action.
The live action.
Yeah,
Ahsoka.
Rebels too.
You guys are like really going into it.
Yeah, we went all in. It's been you've been gone for a while. Andy.
Yeah,
and we've been busy too.
Yeah.
Up and down, and down.
A lot of downs. The Clone Wars. A lot of downs.
The quick version, Clone Wars, not good.
Yeah.
Despite what people said, not good. Don't believe their lies, Andy. They're lying to you.
Well, is it just like, is it bad because it's really just like straight up a kids show? Is that why? Or
no, it's just at the end of the day, the quick summary is what's the point of doing this show? I personally thought it was like, oh, we're gonna give more understanding on the Separatist or the Jedi and how it worked between here and A and B. No, they don't do that much. The Jedi are still incompetent dumbasses that, of course, get their ass kicked over by some old cripple guy in a wheelchair.
Why is this happening to me? Why am I losing?
Why are we losing constantly?
Well, that's interesting that, like, I mean, obviously, you know, you guys, everyone else feels that it is good to some degree. And then, like, you know, Ahsoka, obviously, you guys know Ahsoka's from that show, right?
Yes, which is like, the reason why we went down this whole rabbit hole.
Which is funny that, like, it's so crazy that that's where it started. And now she's, like, her own, like, Disney Plus show and everything.
Yeah. Indeed.
With the help of the Mandalorian, obviously. But.
The funny part is she's barely a relative character in that series. So that's the other thing is, like, they really are hoping, I guess, you care about Anakin and Obi-Wan, and kind of it's just not interesting at the end of the day. Basically, Clone Wars, watch the greatest hits and just move the fuck on.
Yeah, I think I've heard that there's like a way you can watch them like in like a sort of a condensed way. But, yeah.
Don't waste your time with it, basically.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, I wasn't planning on it, but now I really won't do it.
What you might want to watch though is Rebels.
Really?
I did not think I would say that, especially looking, because I saw the thumbnail. I'm like, oh man, this is a kid's fucking show.
Yeah.
Even worse than the Clone Wars. I'm thinking, looking at the thumbnail, surprisingly good.
Huh.
Same people, mind you.
And that's the thing Miles keeps telling me, and I'm like, what happened between this production and this production? Because it doesn't seem like it could be the same writers at work.
Huh.
Because one is coherent, focused, and knows what it wants to do, and the other one's like, I don't know, Clone Troopers, Count Dooku, he's a wizard.
Anakin's going to try the dark side just a little bit, and then forget about that, and that never happened.
Yeah, it's a whole thing that I won't get into. But but yes, Rebels is good.
Interesting.
And the interesting part about now that we're in Ahsoka, as Miles teased earlier, Ahsoka's really Rebels 2 or Rebels the live action.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, oh, Ahsoka's here, but all the events that occur in the Rebels TV show really matter getting into Ahsoka.
Really?
Yes.
That's so weird.
Which, if you did not, like I said, if we did not do what we did, we would be, I don't know how anyone's watching and understand what the fuck is going on. Well, because like there's all these characters they're talking about, and you're like, I've never seen or heard this person in any of the movies before. And they don't. They only really exist in the Rebels TV show. And a little in Clone Wars, but really Rebels.
That's interesting. Because I was so is it I get a few things. Are you is it a time, are you watching it like timeline chronology? Like is this actually like in order of things? Like Clone Wars goes to Rebels and then goes to Ahsoka?
In the Star Wars timeline, yes.
Oh, okay. And then I thought Bad Batch was somewhere in there.
There's also that, but we haven't gone there yet. I think Bad Batch is, I think, the end of Clone
and a
Wars.
Clone War because they kind of tease him in the last.
They show up in the Clone Wars regular show. Because if you remember this, Andy, you meet Ahsoka in The Mandalorian.
Yes.
This takes place after that.
Oh.
So you're after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you jump quite a bit because Rebels takes place during the Empire rule, right?
Oh.
So it's like 10 years-ish.
Oh, I was getting confused. I thought you meant like I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Rebels
okay.
takes place like literally like I want to say like a few years before A New Hope.
Okay.
And then Ahsoka takes place like, Mandalorian time after Empire.
But like so Rebels would be after Rogue One if you were going through the timeline
It
of
would
like
be it would be
literally
right before in between Rebels, Rogue One, New Hope.
Rebels Rogue. Oh, okay.
We're literally
You meet people you see in Rogue One in the Rebels.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Who also
Okay.
you'll see in A New Hope as well.
Yeah, right.
So yes, it's very close. It's pretty closely tied in
Interesting.
to A New Hope.
How long is Rebels?
It is 4 seasons.
Four seasons.
4 seasons, but the last
longer
season.
than I was expecting.
Yeah, I will say the 4th season's a bit of a rough patch compared to the first 3, but all the story stuff happens there in the last season that you kind of have to watch in order to fully appreciate what's happening in Ahsoka.
Interesting.
So it will be a little rough. It was rough, but overall a much better experience, especially compared to Clone Wars.
Much
and
better
like I said, if you want to get your money's worth when you watch Ahsoka, you kind of need to watch that.
Yeah. Here's this guy. You want to know who this guy is?
Unless you're an old school person, you'll be like, "Who the fuck is Thrawn?"
Oh, Thrawn gets introduced in Rebels, right? And he's like he's what Thrawn is now,
Yes.
canon wise.
It's interesting. The new canon version, or not version, but maybe the explanation of this character and why he's not in the movies is interesting. Let's say. I'll let you decide if it's good or bad if you ever get there, Andy. But there's some thought behind it.
Okay.
But yes, I guess getting to Ahsoka, pretty good.
Huh. Okay.
It's doing what you expect, or I guess what I was hoping for, I guess. And the teaser, because I think we're 4 episodes in. I think we left out.
The teaser going. Oh, we're going there.
Yeah, the very end of the 4th episode. There's he's here too, eh? Okay, let's see what we do with this. So I am curious what's going to happen next, and I do like the fact it's Star Wars, but it's Star Wars more in not the black and white Star Wars of the prequel movies, but I guess more interesting Star Wars in the grayish area of like, what is a Jedi? What's a Sith? And this and that. Good light and darkness and blah 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 blah.
Bro, we're just trying to survive here.
That's what it is. It's just like, I'm just a human being, and I need to, I gotta do something with this.
I can't do the wizard stuff, but I can fight still. So
So it's interesting, and like I said, it expands the universe, but in a good way, and even the writing's pretty good and has a little bit of fun with it too. It's
real true.
serious.
It's real trippy watching things you've seen in cartoon form and in live action. It's really trippy.
Yeah, that's weird. Like that's such a
Indeed.
bold thing to do, to be like, oh, we're character. I mean, just doing that with Ahsoka in general, just like the fact that they introduced her. It's like, oh, they actually went for it. It's like, it's kind of ballsy in a way to be like,
she's a real lady now.
Yeah, like it's not just like, I guess because people, I mean, and I'm one of those people. I sort of like wrote off like those shows as being like, this is like whatever. If you want it, it's like tertiary. It's not as important. But like what you're saying, if it's like relevant to the story in like what you would consider the live action being more serious and relevant. Like, that's really interesting.
So yeah,
cool.
It's surprisingly exciting so far. Hopefully it can stick the landing. But overall good time. And
cool.
That's our Star Wars update this week. And I guess that will complete my week as well. So gentlemen, we are finally here at the main topic after
this long main topic.
Indeed. Where at least maybe I try to cover. My eyeballs at some point glanced at every title that was announced in the last month, let's say. And so I wrote a lot of games, maybe too many games, I'll say.
You might say.
But I do have a highlighted top 10 I definitely want to share.
Boo, that's the top 10?
So
yeah, my level, I'm at like 20.
Oh my goodness, wow, Miles has got a bigger wallet than me, that's for sure, apparently.
Well, that's because a lot of things got cooler now. So it won't come next year, but that's fine.
All right, so I guess I'm going to go, since I'm hosting, I guess I'm going to take control here.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Oh, boo.
Full unlimited power.
And, here's your cloak, sire.
There you go.
Here's your cloak.
I was scarred.
So the Clone Wars, like without Michiki's trying to take dark clothes, and like I don't see the difference here at all.
Boy, that's like the 5th time in a row the chance has gone against us, the Jedi. It seems kind of weird, Yoda. It's fine.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
what do you think Mace will do? It's fine. Yoda said it's fine. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's so silly when they try to like, like it's just like adding all that nuance. It's like, how do you do that in like this show like that and have these characters and not be like, oh, yeah, he's clearly going to be the bad guy in the movie. What the fuck are you talking about?
The Jedis were no great detectives. I'll tell
clearly.
you.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't see it. He's such an old man, though. But yes, okay. Video game news. So I am going to take us all the way back to the Sony State of Play that happened, I don't know, the very beginning of the month, maybe. Play. And what I have here of highlights, I guess I'll go through my list and then feel free to jump in case anyone remembers or is curious about any of these games I will list. The first one is the Until Dawn remake that is coming out later this year. I have an interest in this game because I enjoyed it, and I even have a review on YouTube. If you want to see that old video, you could check that out. The few video game reviews I ever did on YouTube, you could check that out. And I had a very good time. Hopefully, with this remastered, supposedly there's new scenes and new things they've done to it. Hopefully, they will make it a little bit more interesting, since a lot of the game was about, choosing your choices, and if you choose this, you'll die, and different kinds of endings, twists and turns, which I love that kind of video game nonsense. But the original really kind of sucked on that. So I'm hoping this version is prettier and we have a little bit more of that. So yeah, that's definitely on my list.
Didn't you say it kind of like failed at doing like the whole like it sort of had like a heavy rain sort of symptom of like the ending is always kind of the same thing?
Yes, but even I would argue Heavy Rain did a better job.
Oh, that's rough.
So that's what I'm saying. It's
when Heavy Rain does a better job?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Until Dawn's ending is the multiple quotation marks ending of Until Dawn is pretty horrendous.
Is it like a Mass Effect sort of thing?
Not far off. Not far off.
Click your ending. Are you green or blue?
It's worse than that. Not by much, but it is even worse than that.
Wow.
So it's pretty bad. Wow. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, in the remake will fix that up.
No, that's yeah.
But who knows? Maybe that's me streaming that on Twitch TV. The other one I wrote down more of an interest, just curiosity of speaking about Overwatch knockoffs, the Marvel Rivals. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, and I didn't know it existed until I saw. We're like, what's this Marvel thing? And I clicked on it, and it's an Overwatch knockoff, but now with your favorite Marvel characters.
Wow! Speaking of Overwatch knockoffs,
yeah.
Wow.
And I guess I'm curious to see if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's free to play. I think there's a beta coming on the next few months for it.
Oh, wow.
The other thing of note, I was curious, like, who's developing this? Apparently, it's a Chinese studio working on this.
Oh, NetEase, probably?
It could be. I forget who, but I did look it up. Like, what developers? It's like, it's a Chinese studio, which we're getting more and more these days. I'll let you decide if that's good or bad. So I am curious to see what will happen to that title in the future. A title that I'm maybe looking less forward to, question mark, with the thing we saw of it in this State of Play was the Silent Hill 2 remake. I'll say this, I've liked Silent Hill, but I've always been more of a Resident Evil person back in the day. If people remember the survival horror battles of the 90s, early 2000s. But I always respected Silent Hill, what they were going for, and in particular 2, because 2 is probably the most popular one. Mm-hmm. But it just seems like the little more I see of the remake, it just seems a little too clean and like a little maybe too self-aware of like, because 2 is such a weird game, and I think it's like, it's a weird game, period, but then like the translation between Japanese and English gets somehow lost and confused and somehow gets weirder and twisted a little bit more. But I don't think it's intentionally, but somehow it works for the game. But this remake just seems a little too clean and clear cut, and that extra weirdness, jankiness that maybe, let's say, like David Lynch-esque-ness maybe. Mm. It feels like we're losing that weirdness that was in the original Silent Hill 2. So I am a little bit more concerned about that game, but we'll see. It's still I got a ways to go.
It's been one of those ones that I've always been like, there's like a whole bunch of games where I'm like, in my head, like, I need to play this game. It's sort of like a must play in my head, and that's always been one of them. And there's never really been like an easy way, because I never really owned a PS2, and I know
sadly that is the only way you can play that game right now.
Yeah, or the shitty HD remake.
Don't play that
right,
version.
and like that was like when I found out it existed, I was like, oh boy, and then I saw the reviews, and I was like, oh no, they
fucking Konami.
They destroyed it. Oops. But Konami's, and we'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think the crazy part, I think that game's like $100, $200 game right now.
The HD one? Or
No, the original
Oh,
PS2 copy,
wow.
which I picked up like a few years ago when I was collecting everything, and I maybe paid $40 for it at the time.
Wow.
So it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe hold on to that PS2. It might go up after this game. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But I'm hoping it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The other one of note is, I guess, Sony's answer to massively multiplayer shooter games with Concord, which is yet another maybe Overwatch knockoff, question mark?
Another hero shooter, because we need more hero shooters in the world.
That's
a
becoming a
thing
saturated
now.
market.
Yeah, well, like along with all the Fortnite.
Yes, the other Fortnite, yeah, the Battle Royales.
Battle Royales, yeah.
So yeah, the only saving grace about this game, it is it's a new developer studio, but it's full of ex-Bungie people.
Oh.
So if you're a Halo / Destiny fan, maybe there's potential here.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, but that did seem to be Sony's big push this event.
Wait, there's the other Marathon, right? That's the other.
What's the hells, man? I don't got Marathon on my list.
Well, no, but we're trying to remember from like last year. The Marathon's the Bungie.
Oh, the Bungie's official thing. Yes, they're working for it. Yes. We're working on a game, and this is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Right, yes, which is now a PlayStation Studio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I totally forgot about the viewpoint that right now. It's crazy. And then the last thing, and I guess the thing that most people cheered about from this state of play was a new Astrobot game.
Yay.
Hey, mascot platformers. Hey, I remember. I was a 90s kid. I remember these things.
It looks cute. It looks fun. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said, you've seen these before, but we don't get them as often anymore, and I'll take one. And the free demo game that came out on the PS5 was pretty fun, so expand upon it.
If you have that demo, there's a new update. There's more.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's more. You get trophies and other things. So I'm kind of tempted to go back in there.
So there you go. Gonna get that platinum.
Gotta get the game score go up. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. All right, get the trophy score up. I guess. All right.
Nintendo still doesn't have an equivalent of that, do they?
Well, they have Nintendo points.
Yeah, but you get the points and you can buy the things at the shop, right, or whatever.
But you get that from playing the game?
Some of them,
really?
like you get those coins.
I thought it was just for buying games.
I think there's like a difference.
Yeah, because the gold coins you get from buying.
Right,
Yeah,
and then there's silver coins for actually playing games.
I forgot. It's been a while since I played that game.
I think if you play like the Fire Emblem game, I think you get a lot of coins, and that's like the one you wanted to play the most. You
must be so many fucking coins there.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. Just kind of a side thing about that. I found this out when I went to visit my brother, and he had WarioWare magnets on his fridge, and I'm like, "How'd you get that?" He's like, "Oh, I had so many Nintendo Switch points, and that you just get them if you have." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you could get like physical objects.
Right.
With it. Like you can actually."
They used to do that like forever ago, but I guess they do it again now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if I never correct, they closed down Club Nintendo.
Right, that was the old system.
And there's now
little
my
Chotskis like
my
that.
Nintendo. You can get Chotskis like that, but you had to get a lot of points and stuff.
Yeah.
I've been out of this whole loop for a while now. I just see it and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta use these coins that expire.
Yeah,
I'll save $5 on I don't know, Ace Attorney or whatever it is for the 10th time.
Yeah.
So yes. That was my state of play. Did anything else you guys saw from that?
Astrobot was
the big one. Okay.
September 7th or 6th.
So the next one I have listed, I don't even know if this is technically the right chronological time because Amit, all these showcases, I fucking forgot about it. Life was happening. And it's like, oh, podcast. Oh, I definitely watched them live. Indeed. Yes. So the next one I have on my list here is the OTK Game Expo, which I don't know what the hell that stands for.
Sweet.
But the few games I saw that was interesting was a game called Just Crow Things.
Just Crow. I had that on my list.
Which is basically the Untitled
Goose Game.
But with a crow. So it just looks like mayhem.
Crows being dicks.
Just crows being jerks.
And your car's on fire. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, and you could just, of course, you could just drop little landmines and everyone as you just be a jerk. So I was like, oh, okay, that looks silly and fun, cute. So I'll add that to my Steam wish list. Another one I have here, if it has any anime aesthetic, of course I mark down. Which this one is Akatori. 2D platform and Metroidvania. Looks fine. Sign me up. I like a Metroidvania. And then the other one that I wrote down that was on a lot of different showcases I've realized after doing my research was a game called Screenbound, which I don't know if anyone's seen.
I see now. Now I was kind of confused in it because
that's what I'm saying. I wasn't too sure if I'm sold on it, but it is an interesting concept because
I've seen this. Yeah, this is wild. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, where you play. So you play a first-person perspective video game, but in the video game, you are playing essentially a Game Boy who's playing a 2D platformer.
Yeah.
But also in the first-person perspective, you're also playing the character in the Game Boy version. So it's like a multiple perspective of whatever you're doing on the Game Boy, you're also doing in like your peripheral vision outside of the Game Boy. So while the character's jumping on platforms and doing these things, I guess you are also doing these things. You're controlling yourself, question mark?
It's super, yeah, it looks really creative. It's a very creative idea. I have to give them that.
Yeah, so that's why I wrote it down, because I'm just like, that's different.
Yeah,
so,
it's very
points
different.
for originality.
When I first saw it, I was like, is this like distracted walking the game?
Right,
Where you're like, that's what I felt
yeah.
like. You're like, oh, I got to do this, but I'm on my phone, and like, but you're playing a game. I don't know. No, yeah, it looks super. Yeah, it looks like Flappy Birds, like graphics in the game.
Kind of, yeah.
But yeah,
but it's interesting. So that's how I made my cut there, which will end that one. And surprising, the one I wrote a lot for, which I wasn't expecting, was from the Guerrilla Collective showcase. Their first one is right up Miles' alley, is a game called Under the Island, which is just basically a 2D Zelda, very much in Link to the Past style Super Nintendo graphics, where you're like a teenager girl, and like you're in like, I guess it's like kind of like maybe, I don't know if it's like an actual fantasy, or it's like half of it's happening in her head, where she's like, she moves out of town and she finds herself in a new place and she's on a great adventure. But the graphics, like I said, it seems like a Super Nintendo 2D Zelda, can't go wrong, sign me up. Speaking about an easy knockoff, but I'll take it every day. Big Boy Boxing. It's a Punch Out.
Yeah.
It's just fucking Punch Out.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't get Punch Out anymore. Damn it, Nintendo, get your act together.
The last one was the Wii one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yikes. So if the big companies won't, the indies will, and apparently with Big Boy Boxing, we'll get more Punch Outs. So once again, sign me the fuck up.
I know. I'm always team Punch Out. I love me some Punch Out.
Mm-hmm. What up? I have another one, another action platformer, Elise. It reminds me of, I guess, Mega Man, but more on the style of the GBA Mega Man game. So Mega Man, sign me up.
Yeah.
Sky Oceans, which is, I don't know, it was kind of interesting. It gave me vibes of Skies Arcade, which is always good.
Yeah.
And it's like turn-based action with airplanes. So check. I like airplanes. I like turn-based action. So I'm hoping to see where that happens with that one. It looks like it's still pretty early in the development cycle, but I am curious. And here's another weird little game, but this is actually made my top 10 highlights, is a game called Little Problems, which is more up Miles' alley, I would imagine, out of the gamers on our podcast, where it is a puzzle adventure game, but you're solving like very basic adventure problems of like, oh no, the trailer is very short, so it's like guessing like, oh, I woke up and like, oh no, it's whose birthday is it? It's Steve's birthday. You have to look at little clues to figure out like what's happening and like where to fill in the bubbles. So you're basically playing like detective on a very small scale.
Like detective of someone's life.
Yeah.
Like, in like a very minor way.
Yeah, in a very minor, silly way. But like I said, I love playing detective. It's why I like Ace Attorney games. And I like, because I always say that half the time with case goes, why does it always have to be some murder happening going on? Why can't it be just like embezzlement or who stole the last candy bar in the lunch break room, right? Let's figure this out. But it's always murder. So just downscaling and doing a little mystery solving, as the Ace Attorney Scooby-Doo fan.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but isn't there a similar like Mickey Mouse thing or like a Disney thing that has a similar like crime solving thing? I think there's a similar
on the Wii.
Switch. No, like it's coming out. Like it was part of the Switch, the Nintendo. But it was it made me think about like Ace Attorney was like, it was like solve like Disney crimes, like really like simple things. But
was that the for the update for the platformer?
I think so. I was like, I was very confused.
I saw there was an update for it, but I guess I didn't see what the gameplay was.
Yeah, and I was like, it seemed sort of like it was like, wait, why is this part of a platforming game?
Right,
like, why are we doing detective like Ace Attorney things? So maybe I'm.
No, I think you're right. It was Illusion Island.
Too much of the love show, Andy. Too much love show. You don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, I'm out of it.
What was in those sheets? I am curious. Now I have to look this up. I'll look this up. Let's see here. What else do I have over here? I have a game called Double Shake. Which was Double Shake? Oh, it was the 2D PS1 platformer looking thing. Something like a Klonoa, a Tomba, or what was the 64 one? Mischief
Makers?
That's what it is. It gave me vibes of like that. So, that's what I kind of remember. Speaking of which, also there's a Tomba remake special edition also happening.
And Tomba 2.
Right.
Oh, is it 1 and 2?
Yeah, because they're both getting physical releases,
okay.
limited run.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Did you guys play those games?
I've dabbled. I played the demo a bunch at the kiosk.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
We never had a PlayStation until very late.
we got a PlayStation very late in the cycle, and I was too busy playing Marvel vs. Capcom. More on that in a little bit. What else did I have here? Oh, here's the one that actually was this also made my highlight. Speaking about Ace Attorney visual novel stuff, a weird title: Urban Myth Dissolution Center.
Oh yeah, huh?
But it's very visual novel-esque horror. To me, it gave me vibes of like Danganronpa meets maybe Clock Tower ? So very retro horror-based kind of stuff happening with very anime art style, but very kind of creepy-looking anime art style. Very like retro also as well. So sign me up.
Like
weird
pixelated
colors.
kind of, right?
Yeah, it's all pixelated and stuff. So yeah,
it looks cool.
It looks cool. One speaking of which, Clock Tower Rewind, which is very cool and exciting. It's being done by Forward, who does a lot of very good games and usually does a pretty good plays respect to the original games. So we're getting a refresher of Clock Tower. Another game kind of like it's like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Clock Tower. It's like all the way over here is Clock Tower of all these horror games back in the PS1, PS2 days that I've always had a fascinating with. I've dabbled with, but never really got into. But now I have an easy way to dabble into Clock Tower 1. So look forward to that. This game is also we talked about this last summer E3, not E3 here on the podcast. A game called Demon School, which is basically Persona slash SMT meets FF Tactics.
Yeah.
Which here's my money. Shut up and give it to me now. Thank you. So yeah, just put the two things I like a lot.
You are Franco like. Really?
Yeah, me and I gotta show this. I don't think Frank has seen this, but if I showed it to Frank, I think I might get him a little excited. So look forward to that on the future of the podcast. I would be safe to say. There's another. Speaking about, I got all these horror games. Hollow Body. It seems sure like Silent Hill. I think I wrote down literally Silent Hill 1.5. So it's in between 1 and 2 of Silent Hill. It's got that creepy vibes. Everything's a little foggy, a little pixelated, just a little bit of ugly, but somehow that ugliness makes it a little bit more scary, in my opinion. So there's that. Another game I think we talked about last year, the Anton Blast.
Oh, Anton Blast.
Oh, yeah.
The game that Nintendo refuses to make. I mean,
speaking, like I said, the indies will come out and make it, which is basically a Warland successor. It sure looks like it's got that vibe a little bit. So I think we're getting a little close. I forget the release date, but I think it's this year. So hopefully that will make the debut.
Those indie devs, they know like really what like people like would get excited about.
They must tune into the podcast. And then the last one I've listed from the showcase is a fitting, and you talked about this earlier. The Yooka-Laylee.
Which is very fitting in like their like silly like
we're determined to make it happen.
Yeah, or like how Banjo-Tooie, it's like very silly. It's like but it's like that's so like on brand for that team. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised that they're doing this, considering
not people like the first.
Yeah,
one.
like how.
Like.
Yeah,
it seems like they're giving a lot of like life equality updates, like kind of quality of life updates into this thing, so it actually might be playable.
I'm just surprised that it has enough like legs in terms of like interest, and from like I'm assuming there is like they are aware of like that there is interest in it.
Someone will give us money for that.
Yeah, and like otherwise why would they do it? Because I honestly thought after the I forgot the second one, the side scrolling
Impossible
Lair.
That's what it was.
I thought that they were like, okay, we're done. Like I assumed it was like a dead franchise at that point. I'm like, oh wow, well,
if only someone Microsoft actually had the balls and actually make a Banjo-Kazooie remake.
That would be nice.
That'd be great.
I mean, hopefully the quality of life changes will actually be like, oh, like maybe what I'm doing, like, it's funny that I'm playing it now. I get to see, maybe I'll try it later and be like, wow, they actually made the game that it should have been from the get-go. Would be nice. But it's hard to see that they would if it's really just kind of like I don't want to say it's like a buffering, like a shining of it, but
like a remastered.
Yeah, it feels like if you remaster a meh game, it's still a meh game,
Right. There's only so much.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to really shake up the form. Would be my guess.
Yeah, or like I don't know, change the level design. I think do something about how it. I don't know, but yeah, it's just okay, cool.
Yeah, I was surprised as well.
Yeah.
I was surprised as well, but See, I was smart. You guys, you jumped into it, got disappointed. I waited this whole time for apparently this game.
Oh, you were right. You waited
All
the whole
part of the
time.
plan.
You were like, no.
Oh, it's coming.
I'm not funding the GoFundMe. I'm waiting for when they remaster it. It's like, it's not even out yet. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Give it till
time.
2025 for
fresh for the next generation. All right. Let's see here. I don't know if anyone else had anything from that particular showcase. I was surprised how many games I was interested from that one alone.
I think that's where I found Pool.
Pool? What's Pool?
So Pool is basically a pool game.
Like billiards.
Like billiards, I guess. But you knock these little guys together, and they're like cute little pool balls, I guess. And then you make like the same color mix, and they become bigger. And then you hit them again, and they get big. They always match the color and go bigger and bigger. It's kind of like
is that Suika game?
Yeah, it looked fun. It's like it's like a good mobile game, I guess. Because you just hit the pool. You hit using a white cue ball, and you make them bigger and try to get in the match and get it bigger. It's kind of like I remember 102 or 10, 24 or no squares or there were a lot of games that did.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
someone does.
Because everything by multiplication. So you like 2, you put the two together, become 4. 2 4s become 16.
Oh, you mean the threes?
Oh, threes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically.
It has a bunch of. I feel like there's like a
there
bunch
was,
of.
There was probably like 1,000 knockups of it at the time.
But pool's pretty much that, but with cue balls.
Okay.
Or I think now that was in there, and then there's the Pinball Spire. I thought that was fun. It was like it reminded me of like Sonic Spinball kind of in a way.
So it's terrible.
Well, Sonic Spinball a little bit also of like actual like RPG elements, and the pinball was kind of interesting.
Of course, let's smash genres together.
And then there's the Lost and Found Co., which I thought was Lost and kind of basically you play it's Where Waldo pretty much. You find they have a whole environment, and you're playing as like a duck that turned to a boy.
It happens.
Character. But you're pretty much like you're looking for items on the bottom of the screen, and you're looking like you have a big giant map. Like, where is the CD? Where is it in the map? And you're where's Waldo? And like, oh, there it is. It's over in this corner, and you click on it to advance. But that's the only thing I got from that one.
You good, Andy? You good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly gonna probably talk Nintendo.
So. I imagine there's gonna be a lot of this is gonna be Nintendo talk. But I spent the extra day.
You know me.
I had to capture footage for our TikTok, so I had some time to kill. So I went through all this stuff.
Gotcha.
So the next one I have here, a couple short list. I guess IGN had a thing going on several days. Blah 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 blah. The first one I have here is Dark Deity 2. It's just fucking Fire Emblem. Oh, and I'll take that every fucking day of the week. So more of that.
Where sign up? Where is that? Let me know.
The sad part is I bought the first one. I haven't played it yet.
But with you saying that, won't you just play Fire Emblem again though instead?
There's also
because all signs point to you just being like, let me try this again and get these dialogues.
Could be different, Andy. We don't know yet. We have to see with our own eyes.
That's
you
true.
could just look it on YouTube, but that's cheating, Andy. We don't cheat around here.
No.
We bring you real reactions, real opinions here on Otaku. So this is what I do in my life, and I've made a lot of mistakes, probably. What else do I have here? I have Shrine's Legacy, which it weirdly just looks like co-op Legacy of Goku. I know Miles know what I'm talking about. I hope.
Yeah, I know. That's like the little sprite and everything.
It does look like Legacy of Goku.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't realize, but now the word Legacy was also in there, and like, oh, that makes sense. They're just doing that. But looks fun, cute, very Game Boy Advance. But hey, co-op, why not? The one, this made my highlight as top 10, is a game called The Big Catch, which just looks to me like a lost Nintendo 64 platformer where I think you're like a rabbit walking around all these weird, like Super Mario 64 environments.
Yeah.
And catching fish and wacky things happen. And you're just like running around all over the place. And, it runs way better than a 64 game could, right? But it just, like I said, looks like another platformer from the old 64 days, which next to 64 and Banjo, sign me up. And then the last one I still have here, and I'm still kind of confused by it, but Way Forward's involved, so I wrote it down. The Yars Rising, but it's not a shooter like the original Atari game, but it's more like a 2D Metroidvania, maybe, or like a kid shooting bugs and hacking and running around in cool 2D graphics. So I don't know what that's about, but hey, the current owner of Atari, and I think I mentioned this before on the podcast, they're really trying to do something with this brand for once versus doing shitty plug and play Atari 2600 consoles for the 10,000 fucking time. Yars Rising and Atari is apparently back, and I'm curious to see what they do more in the future. Which leads me to, I guess, one of the bigger shows we had this June, the Summer Game Festival, or Fest, whatever it was called. Mr. The Doritos King himself had his event. And to be honest, it was kind of disappointing. I didn't watch it all the way through, but when I saw what was on the lineup, I went, ouch. Poor Jeff had a tough summer this year.
Yeah.
But I did manage to couple highlights here. The first one was the Capcom game I think we've seen before through Xbox, I want to say. The, what's it? Kitsunugami Goth of the Goddess.
Yeah, the Onimusha game.
Yeah, it's like Onimusha, fantasy, like feudal Japan, demons and monsters and pretty flowers, and it's like part action, part strategy, real time maybe. It's a weird combination from what we've seen of it, but it's colorful, interesting, different, and if it's on Game Pass, and I have Game Pass, I'll definitely check it out. It wouldn't be a regular episode of Taco Talk if I didn't somehow say the word Sonic the Hedgehog returns. With Sonic Cross Shadow Generations.
With Shadow now developing wings, which I think is kind of weird.
Whatever. It's Sonic 3 is coming out at the end of the year. We need to diversify the portfolio.
But no
and sell
new
some
levels
merch.
in Sonic Generations. You gotta be
you get new Shadow levels, kind of.
But like of all this word, I don't know. I guess expect a little bit more. That's just me.
Sonic Generations is a good Sonic game, so already I'm sold for that. And sure, I'll take Shadow hasn't. What was his last time in Sonic fucking Heroes? No, Sonic 06. Oh, why did I remember that?
Sonic 06.
We don't talk about Sonic 06. What we do talk about is Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero.
Guess what, guys? We're gonna do. We're gonna fight. Again.
It's Dragon Ball again, doing the same story beats again.
Oh,
but
boy.
Sometimes, apparently, in this game, we're going to have some fun what-if situations, which I'll fucking... I just, every time I see a Dragon Ball, it looks pretty. I buy them all eventually at some point. But I just feel always bad for, the voice actors, okay, no, Krillin, no, I won't let you get away with it. It's like the same line over and over.
I do like that one what-if scenario, which, what if Vegeta actually gets shit together and actually just fights itself?
Nah, that doesn't sound like Vegeta, I know.
It's just what, fuck, we should destroy the enemy, not let it get stronger.
The Vegeta, I know. So whatever, it looks pretty. I like the Dragon Ball game. I'll pick it up when it's on sale for sure. Street Fighter 6, which caused me great shame because I have yet to pick it up and I have an interest in it. But I'm in time for Fatal Fury characters entering, where apparently Capcom versus SNK is back in Street Fighter 6 with Mr. Terry Bogart and Miss, what is it?
Mai.
Oh, I forget her last name.
Shiratani? No.
Something with an S, isn't it? The girl from...
Shiranui?
Sure, that sounds right. The one you all know. The artists definitely know her. Let's say that.
The artists...
They know the dress she's definitely in. Well, I'll tell you that. So they are making a crossover because Fatal Fury is also getting its own game. So I guess, once again, the synergy, the crossover. So SNK is back, and even more so back in Street Fighter. Even fucking Mr. Bison has, speaking about zombies, has returned from... This guy, we can't get rid of this fucking guy, let me tell you. For him, it was just a Tuesday, and he just keeps coming back. Anyone get that movie now? All right, that's all right. Watch The Greatest Speech of All Time, and you know what I'm talking about. What else? Oh, the Batman VR game, Batman Arkham Shadow. I am curious because it is the makers of the Iron Man game, which I did dabble and talk about here on the podcast. I need to get back to that. But it's going to be by them. It's Batman. Like I said, give you some Batman, Sonic, and Fire Emblem. It's a good weekend for me. So I will keep that an eye out with my Quest 3 headset. And the last one here from the Summer Game Fest is we saw yet even more of Metaphor Refantasio. The Persona...
Totally not Persona, but Persona.
Definitely not Persona 6. It's the makers from Persona, and it sure looks like Persona, but in a more fantasy-like setting, but it has all the cool art style and graphic settings that you get in Persona 5, coming out at the end of the year. So yeah, anyone has anything from the Games Festival or whatever it was?
Let's see.
Miles got something.
See, I got a ranger. That was fun. A ranger's kind of like basically what if we had a Link's Awakening, but like throughout the whole game, and like because you shuffle into
The
like
whole, huh?
because like the character moves like they go up and down. They don't really like go move around as much. They go they shuffle down or they move side to side. They.
Wait, what
Are
is the
you
game
saying? Yeah, what's this called again?
A ranger?
called?
A ranger. So I'm assuming what you're talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, is instead of moving the character, you move the world.
You move the character around the world. You move
The world around the character.
okay.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to make sure. Okay.
There's Neva, which is the next game that for makers of Gris. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, the arts. The
artsy one. Yeah,
yes, the artsy. That's the word.
Yeah, that's their next game. Which you take care of a little animal. I guess from as a little animal to a big, I guess to a mature adult. I guess. No, that's what's shown in the trailer.
So Pokemon.
There's the Power Rangers game. The old school.
Going to Smash Curry, brother.
The old school, like, yeah, there it is. But I think it's weird because it's also pixelated, but then it has like clean art.
Well, of course. Well, it's always funny to say, it's just like the PlayStation or the Super Nintendo, and you're like, the Super Nintendo can fucking do this.
Yeah, right.
And then of course the Lego Horizon because it's their Lego game.
And it's so random that they're just doing
I
that.
forgot about that. You said that right now, and I was confused when I heard it on a podcast, and I was like, I must be misunderstanding. I didn't hear that. It must be some Lego game that's just called Horizon. No, it's a Lego game based on the PlayStation property Horizon Zero Dawn and whatever else. And I went, huh? What? Why?
It's pretty, yeah. I guess it's doing well enough for people are buying it, right?
I'm like, because I haven't played the. Well, okay, I did play the demo. I think I talked about the start of the podcast.
Yeah.
It didn't do much for me, but also I blamed the guy who let me play the demo. He didn't have any favorites in that game. I have the game. One day maybe I'll play it. So I'm very confused of like, how did this thing get a fucking like an Uncharted Lego game makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot
Yeah.
Lego game makes more sense. Technically they don't own Crash Bandicoot, but let's say they did. Ratchet and Clank. There's so many things that I feel like make a lot more sense for a Lego adaptation of a PlayStation property. Horizon?
Yeah, you think it would be something a little more, with more legacy to it, like Uncharted. I feel like Uncharted would be perfect.
Just Lego Indiana Jones, and they already did that.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, fair enough. All right, so that is the Summer Game Fest. I think I have one or two small ones, and then we're getting to the big. I think I saved the biggest.
One of the two biggest ones, right?
Oh yes. So one in between. Apparently, I didn't know. I had to look at these. There was a Latin American game showcase. A few ones of note here was a game called Abyss X Zero Cross Zero. I don't know, but there's an X Hunter. I don't know. It's more Mega Man, just Mega Man.
And okay, sure.
Or Mega Man Legends in particular. It looks like Mega Man Legends, but instead of shooting, you're doing more like melee combat.
Okay.
But it has that aesthetic, and once again, Mega Man, sign me up. There was another Ace Attorney-like game called Read Only Memories Neural Diver.
Oh yeah, that's a sequel to Read Only Memories. I think I have the first game.
Oh, I didn't know it was a fucking sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, learning new things today. Well, that explains the title. Now I look at it. Yeah, it just looks like Ace Attorney, but like it looks like Ace Attorney, but like when it was actually a GBA game, even.
Yeah, because you do a lot of exploration. You're trying to figure out. You dive into people's memories. So you try to figure out what happened.
Oh, okay, so it's like Ghost in the Shell meets Ace Attorney.
Yeah,
fuck. How have I not heard this game? Sign me up. Something to add. 2 games to my wish list now. And the last one is surprisingly, I guess similar to but not really. It's a game called Naughty Geese, but it's not like a, just being an Untitled Goose game. It's a 2D 16-bit platformer with some really crazy animation where you're apparently a geese just running down these levels with a little bunch of little geese following you, and you're just doing Sonic 2 shit kind of, but just really cool. Just the animation is super nice and clean, and just like I said, a 16-bit platformer. So I wrote down I want to keep an eye on this one.
It looks so silly. I love it.
Yeah, it's just very silly. Like I said, I'm old school platformers. Sign me up. I need more apparently in my life. Which now leads us to our second big out of the big 3, the Xbox Games Showcase. Let's see. The first one I wrote down here is Gears of War E-Day. It is a prequel to the original Gears of War. It brings back Marcus and Dom. That's what his name was.
Dom, let's go.
And I guess you got to figure out why they ended up in jail in the first game. Question mark, because I think that's how the game started. I haven't kept up with the Gears, or I tried to play 4 and I fell off, and I think I bought 5 because it was like $5. I was like, $5, why not? But we're going back to what I remember, and I think that might be the key to success. And it's also on Game Pass, so that'll definitely be the key to success for me checking this one out versus the other ones. So that's why I wrote it down. We mentioned his name before, but he also is getting his own video game, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It looks good. Every time I see the cutscenes, the third person, I'm like, yes, sold. Every time I see the first person, I'm like, I don't know about the third person or the first person, but it's from the makers of the new Wolfenstein, right? Wolfenstein Machine something. I think it's in the studio.
Yeah.
I don't. You guys, how you guys see Andy? I know you're kind of.
Yeah. I've seen a little bit of it.
How are you feeling about this?
I mean,
one?
I just, I guess I'm interested. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm always like, I like that. I guess I like when they take like properties that like, you can like create these like new storylines and everything. And it's like, oh, it's fitting. Like, I mean, it makes sense as like a game. I don't know. It's kind of like when they did, it makes more sense. Like, when they did like the Ghostbusters movie sort of thing, like
right.
maybe not quite like that, but like, like how Indiana Jones, like, I don't know. I'm just like, I like that they're doing that. I think that's cool.
Right.
I still haven't seen the new one, but,
Andy.
Yeah. We don't have to get into that, but I guess I'm not gonna watch it. But it's
maybe go watch Love and then stop by the liquor store and then maybe put on that movie. Maybe put on that movie after that.
Okay, yeah,
that'd be my recommendation for that movie. I hope the game is gonna be better than that movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also coming to Game Pass, already sold. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the gameplay lives up to the prettiness, prettiness. That's the word. Sure, let's go with that.
Sure, it is.
Of the animation, and that sure looks like fucking Harrison Ford, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's Troy Baker's voice coming out of it. He does a pretty good Harrison Ford impression.
Oh, I didn't realize it was Troy Baker.
Oh yeah, it was Troy Baker.
Wow.
Definitely. I know that man anywhere.
Wow.
I knew him before he was too cool to do anime.
I don't know, and I hear everyone keeps saying like, but no, it's not. But
you don't want old man Harrison Ford.
No.
Because let me tell you, speaking about other properties that they try to do this with, when they released From Russia with Love on the PS2, and they actually brought back old man Sean Connery to voice James Bond for his last time playing the character, it didn't really work.
Yeah.
I love me Sean Connery, but it was more like, it was very obvious this was not young Sean Connery.
Yeah.
So you don't want old man. And plus Harrison Ford, he doesn't want to fucking do that.
No, he doesn't. Unless you give him a lot of money.
He's gonna do the great voiceover like he did but I know it's intentional, but I'm gonna do the reference anyway. Well, like he did the voiceover for Blade Runner. You don't want that either. You don't want that. So yes, next game I have here is a sequel of another game that I had fond memories of. Life is Strange Double Exposure. This is so it's a sequel because it stars the same character from the original series, but all the other games kind of correlate her with her, but not really. It's a whole thing. I haven't kept up. The original series is good because it's one of those your choices matter and see what happens in twists and turns. And so I'm curious to see what we do that with the original character, because the ending of the first game is it's kind of a downer, let's say. So curious to see what happens after experience that adventure in this new adventure. Speaking about what sequels, I guess, remakes, reimagines, let's say, Fable's back for those.
Oh, I didn't know Fable was back.
Is coming to a new generation full of British humor. So if you like yourself some British humor, we got potential here.
I think it was like a mixed bag of like, okay, we're going all in on the. Okay, we're going all in.
Yeah, they're really all in on the British humor on this one. They have different like real actors showing up and doing little cameos, or I guess they're gonna have some kind of small roles in the games, helping the player. It seems like. So once again, if that's your style, check that out. I loved Fable 2. Fable 1 was okay. Fable 2 made it out, and Fable 3 was just all right. So if we get more Fable 2, that would be good. Maybe did you see this, Andy? They finally showed the new Perfect Dark.
Yeah, that kind of blew me away. I was like, wow, they're bringing that back.
How do you feel about this, Andy? It's been don't you remember what was it? The 360 one? Zero?
Yeah, Perfect Dark Zero. That one was terrible. That was a bad, and like it was a launch title.
It was a launch
title.
title.
Yeah, and I was very like, I think I was just a dumb kid, like, oh, I'm just gonna play this. But I think in the back of my mind, I was like, this is bad. Like, even though I was like playing,
no, it's fine, it's fine.
I was, and I think my favorite thing about that game, and because it was sort of a new concept to me, was just the online play. It was like the first time I was really getting into like console onlines versus like the outside of the PC. So like that was like the best thing about it to me. But I do remember like even as a kid like being like, I think this sucks.
I'm starting to think this sucks.
I'm pretty sure this sucks, but
I'm gonna keep playing anyway. Though.
I'll keep going. It's the only game I got on launch, but I'll keep going.
Wait, I guess I'm. Is it developed by Rare or
no? This is a brand new studio that they've been working on this for like 4 to 5 years, and this is the first time they've actually shown it.
Oh wow!
So they literally made this is like when Microsoft was really swinging for the fences.
What's it called? Like the Collective, right?
I think that's what they're called. They made the studio. This was like the first studio. They like we want to make a studio because they were like people don't think we can make studios. We're gonna make a studio. We're gonna prove it with this studio. We're gonna get the best game to people, and they're going to make the best game for us. And for a long time, it was like, what are they working on? We don't know. What are they working on? We don't know. And then, like, I think it was like 1 or 2 years, it was like, we're working on Perfect Dark. And it's just like, okay, great. Where is it? I'll see you next year. Yeah. But here it is. It's true. They weren't lying to us.
Yeah.
There is a new Perfect Dark.
I mean, it's hard to say anything about it now just because it's like, it's like you can't really...
concept.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard to speak about. And there's a few things that they're a concept that I think we're going to talk about where it's like, yeah, cool, it's happening, but what can I say about it other than I'm glad
it's happening?
It's cool. Yeah, like, I mean, I would like, and it's funny that Perfect Dark just got re-released on the Switch Online. So like, it's kind of like,
which once again, I was like, didn't it already?
Yeah, right.
I'm thinking in the back of my mind, well, of course they have it, don't they?
Yeah. Well, no, they had to, I don't know if you knew
they had the rare replay thing. That's the last thing.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. But then they added a whole on the Switch Online. They had a whole like now this is the M-rated N64. I don't know if you know, like they have.
I didn't know
they
that.
have a separate like I guess app if you want to call it that in the Switch where you can't. It's not in the 64 one.
What?
It's in 64 mature audiences. So it's two different things.
And what's in there? Just that?
That and Turok. It's just two. Yeah, Turok and that. And I'm like, what else are you gonna put in here? Conquer? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say Conquer because I'm out after those three.
What other M-rated games are on the 64 that are like relevant? I can't think of anything. So it's very silly, but that's what they're doing.
I did not catch that. I missed that part.
So goofy.
That is pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
But yeah, no, that's cool that they're making that.
Perfect Dark. All right. And I got one more. This also, of course, will make my highlight of top 10 games I'm interested in. Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Oh, here we go. See you guys later.
Snake Eater.
All right. Yeah, see you in a little bit.
All right. It was nice knowing you, Miles.
So yeah, you watched all of David Hayter being like, this is the reason why this is the best game.
I'm Snake. Remember me? You love me. I'm not fucking Jack Bauer.
You love my voice.
I've been talking to your ear for decades.
Yeah. I guess the first thing that like, well, there's a bunch of things, but the one thing that I thought was the most interesting is that they're still using the old like voices for the most part. It sounds like it's the old.
Yeah, they got they got a lot of people supposedly.
But they're not recording it. Isn't it actually the old audio? I thought that's what it was.
I'm confused. They didn't say 100%.
Oh, okay.
But the way the conversation, it seems to imply they re-recorded.
Oh,
it implies that, but I don't know.
Okay.
Because they said we got almost everyone back.
Yeah.
So by saying that implies so you did re-record it and you got everyone who you could get, and whoever didn't, you're just gonna get someone to refill them. Or they brought the old track and they're just gonna whatever, we couldn't get Bob to agree to the contract, so we're gonna replace Bob with Steve.
Right. It
could go either way, but I'm kind of hoping they shelled out the money and re-recorded the lines.
Yeah.
Because they did it for Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
So I feel like it only makes sense they would do it again, but also it's Konami, and Konami kind of sucks right now.
Yeah, and I thought they were doing it for like, to be purist, because like it's like, well, if you want to create like what it would really be like, obviously the voices are going to be voices, but it's still like I feel like it makes sense to re-record, given like if you're really remodeling it, it's going to like look awkward, I feel like in certain situations where it's like, oh, like it's an older game, you kind of like give it a little bit of a benefit of the doubt with like the mouth movement and stuff, but I feel like with this, it's like it makes sense to just be like, we got to do it all over again.
I hope.
That's what I'm hoping too, because I was like, oh, like that seems weird, but that's cool. But like, I think that's just gonna be weird. Yeah, if they do old voices. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, what are your big thoughts?
Yeah, it's just one of those. So I thought it was funny because there was another video they had. I think one of the I think he's at least a producer, if not the director of the of this remake game, and he worked at Konami for a long time and worked on previous Metal Gear games. And it's kind of funny, in a left-handed way, they said, yes, we're working on a new Metal Gear, and without saying his name, Kojima won't be here.
Oh, when he said, like, we didn't get everybody back that we wanted. Yeah,
yes,
and it was
everyone.
like, Kojima.
Some people have left the studio and will not be working on this game.
Some person is not working.
Don't look at what,
I don't know who, but someone's not coming back.
Yeah.
And that's like the part of me is like, it feels like sort of shitty to be like, I kind of don't want to play it because I'm like a Kojima stan, but I'm also like, but it's MGS3.
It is MGS3. It's the best one.
It's the best one.
It has over the camera now. You have to do over the shoulder.
Yeah, which I guess they're even a little bit more leaning into that, which is funny because in Substance.
Subsistence.
I was gonna say that because the original had no S or two. Substance was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes, and then Subsistence was Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah,
Kojima.
we got it.
No,
But no, yeah, they did it. It wasn't over the shoulder. I mean, it was like close enough.
It was closer, yeah. They modified it to, it wasn't the old Metal Gear way, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're really just, Resident Evil 4, eh?
Yeah, and it's funny because that was sort of like, and that was, I guess that was sort of the charm of old MGS was like, to me, it was like the shooting is a little more complicated because like it feels like it should be, you know, and now it's just going to be like, can I just be like, boop, boop,
bang, bang,
boop,
bang.
boop,
Yeah,
boop,
basically,
boop, boop,
just
boop.
tranquilizes on the head to everyone.
Yeah, because like it was like that was part of the challenge. Is like it's not that easy to just shoot everybody because you're kind of stunted by the controls. But now if it's just like
bang, 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 bang,
bang, bang, bang, bang, bang, bang, bang, bang, bang.
It's gonna be a long walk down with the what's his name, the sorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Too easy, bro.
Yeah,
shit,
I wonder if
too easy now.
I wonder if they're gonna connect. Like, you know how it'd be like they break it up between like it almost felt like one big world, but they did a good job.
Right.
Like, but now I wonder if it's just gonna flow.
Right. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but
I feel like they will because it's next gen.
Yeah,
they have to.
You would think there wouldn't be like a load. Well, it's interesting because in they showed that you could either play both ways. You could play the old school way, or you could play just third person over the shoulder kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe if you do the old school version, it will maybe do the little transitions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good question.
Huh? Yeah, it's all stuff that
something
speculate.
Yeah, I know because they did show it, but it's still very little. It's literally like just the intro of the original game.
Right. Yeah.
You barely see the boss walking up on the bridge.
They don't show anything after that really, other than like maybe the shooting on the motorcycle. But that's really it. That's all it really.
But you see two. Yeah, you don't even see the Shagohod.
Yeah, Shagohod. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Why do I know what that stupid thing is called?
I know.
Oh my god.
That's what Metal Gear fans, the cross we bear. To know these stupid names and this stupid lore.
Oh my goodness.
That I love for some reason.
Lalelulelo.
Lalelulelo. It's the what are they?
The GW system.
The Patriots. The Patriots.
Oh,
the
Patriots.
Or the philosophers, or
but who's the philosophers? Don't get confused. No, like they're part of who, but then the arm, but he's dead, but he's alive. He's a clone. She's a clone. Everyone's a clone. They're all dead. They're all alive. No one truly exists. Indeed.
Les enfants terribles.
Not the recessive genes. Not the recessive. Anything but those.
I hate the recessive genes. Those are terrible genes. You don't
I don't
want
think
those.
that's how that also works, by the way. But sure, let's go with that.
And it's weird though, because the more I look at it, it's funny seeing it without the Kojima filter in a way. You know, like it's like Kojima's. He has his own style, panache, I guess, right? We're watching this trailer of this game, like there's no
giant Kojima. This is a Kojima game edited cut.
Yeah, it's like a standard
no music video.
It's like, but where's the 12-hour or the 12-minute trailer about this whole game? It's just okay.
I mean, it's just a conversation with David Hayter.
Yeah, pretty much. And it is interesting. They're trying to make David Hayter become like the Kojima of like, I am now the ambassador of Metal Gear.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like David Hayter's like, oh well, you don't want me for Metal Gear anymore? Okay, well now I'm gonna be with Konami and screw you, Kojima Productions. I don't care about Death Stranding. I'm with Konami now.
Pretty much.
Just doing all my Snake shit.
Gotta do some. I guess I don't. I did find it surprising, but I guess now that the more I looked into Kojima and how I understand Kojima's mindset, of the fact that every time it was a new Metal Gear game, David Hayter had to audition.
Yeah.
Which is just like, why?
Yeah.
He played this character how many hours of lines of dialogue?
Yeah. You don't trust him now?
Yeah, it just seems silly and just because he's not a Hollywood elite actor, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But we know him and we like him, and everyone's like, "Oh, we threw the line. What's a Russian copter doing here?" And blah blah. You know, we say all these stupid things, and it just seemed unnecessary.
All I know is that we're very interested if we keep going on forward, Metal Gear wise through this series of Delta, right?
That's the question, and that's to me the bigger question is like, hopefully this game is good, but what is that really going to mean for the franchise? Are they gonna go back and remake every single Metal Gear game? Are they going to try to make a new Metal Gear game without Kojima? But what are we going to do? Especially if now the face is supposed to be David Hayter / Solid Snake, when Solid Snake's story is kind of done already.
Yeah.
Are we going to like do a Rogue One with Solid Snake? You know, we're going to fill in the blanks? Which I guess you could. I mean, something did happen between Solid 1 and 2.
Oh, I guess they could do Metal Gear, yeah?
Yeah, I guess
you could go back and do the original 2 on the... What was that stupid thing called?
MSX, yeah, MSX.
That's what it is.
I mean, and there's also, well, I guess there's already Revengeance, but you could tell another Raiden. Nah, I guess you wouldn't tell another. You couldn't really tell another Raiden story. I think
it'd be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already done. I think he's done his thing.
We got the Revengeance, and even there was a miracle that game technically even existed.
Yeah, right,
also technically,
right. Yeah, that's
they
true.
literally had to get Platinum Games to come out and bail that game out of its development.
That was a
cycle.
weird ass first conference. I remember.
Yeah, my guys suck because they're incompetent and I don't want to direct anymore. Yikes. Wonder why. I don't. Kojima, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But also, he's been trying to get out of Metal Gear since like Solid 1.
Look forward to the Kojima biopic on Disney Plus.
Have you seen that?
No,
I forgot.
I was interested, and then I kind of looked up reviews, and then basically everyone was just saying like even like hardcore metal fans are just like, yeah, there's nothing here. Like it's just like it's like an ad for like Death Stranding essentially, and it's just like I don't care. Like, and it's like I don't. It sounds like very surface level, and I mean maybe I'll watch it one day, but like honestly, if it's not telling me something interesting, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah,
with it.
It's gonna be one of those. I'm stumbled. I'm here by myself. I guess I'll play it.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm interested in the franchise now. Let me watch it or something. Like maybe I'll watch it before 2 comes out. Probably.
Could be. But yeah, I am curious to see what they're going to do because. Konami. Well, it's funny because Konami hasn't done much with any of their properties because they're like, well, we don't do video games anymore. But they're
Pachinko machines.
Yeah, exactly. But they're slowly getting back to it. We got the Silent Hill 2 remake, which it's questionable in my opinion, but we'll see. Maybe I could be wrong. But they're doing the very bare minimum to put out these AAA games, if you will, again. And so I'm curious to see once again what work they're going to do in the future and if they're going to keep it up or it's like, oh, it only sold 10 million copies, not 20 million copies. Well, throw it in the bin with everything else.
But Metal Gear's such a popular property. I feel like it has to do well. I feel like there's so much there's so much praise about that game in general. I guess if out the door the reviews are bad, that's a different story. But or I guess the critic scores. But I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Let's see here. What else do I have here? 2 more games from the Xbox showcase. The South by Midnight. Okay, then I mistyped it. Which they showed, I think, earlier on the showcase. And very unique art style. It's almost got like the Spider-Man. What's the Spider-Man? What's it called?
Into Spider-Verse.
There you go. It's kind of like that animation style where it's like everything's kind of running at different frame rates a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's got that. It draws a lot on like the Cajun like mythos and legends of creatures and stuff like that. So it's very got the supernatural vibe, which I'm a sucker for as well. That's
cool.
And witty dialogue.
Yeah. And really funny, quick, quippy dialogue. So
like New Orleans, right? Like
New Orleans, a lot of tales from the South. Let's say.
That's kind of interesting.
A lot of draws, a lot of like,
and it kind of gives me a little vibes, gameplay wise, of like maybe not Beyond Soul. That's a very different game. Good and Evil, Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh, which is I think
which also is maybe happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening. But Ubisoft says it's not happening. It's definitely happening.
It's happening next week.
Oh, they're gonna officially announce.
No, they announced
it's coming out.
They announced during I think the limited run games event.
Oh, okay.
So there's a 20-year anniversary, but it comes out next week.
There's an anniversary thing coming out,
and there's actually a mission that supposed to connect to Beyond Good and Evil 2. So,
That game's never fucking coming out.
Yeah, but now that, but for the game, it's all that.
The balls on these guys. Oh, guys, it's happening. Then last time I saw the game, didn't they have fucking Frodo show up and say, "Hey, would you like to make some assets for me for free, please? 'Cause we don't want to pay our artists over here to actually draw. Yeah. We want to give you nothing and use yours. You, the
creators at home, you could
be in the game, and also you won't be paid and you won't be probably credited. Please work for free. I'm the guy from Lord of the Rings. Remember me?
Oh my god.
It was bad. It was bad. But this game, which big tangent to the
South by Midnight.
Thank you, Miles. Looks very promising. There's a very original indie title, which Microsoft teased. Oh, we're about unique original games, and for once they might have something good.
And then it closed Tango Softworks.
We don't talk about it anymore, Miles. That was a different podcast ago that we went hard on them. Let's see. And then the last one of maybe Andy's excited for with Doom of the Dark Ages.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was yeah, that sounds. I mean, I guess
you're just playing all that. You got this, the Yooka-Laylee.
I know it's weird that happened like that.
Were you playing Snake Eater too, Andy? What happened?
Honestly, this
the next game you play.
I swear I was this close. Like not even joking.
I almost booted it up.
I'm not even because I have the HD collection.
Oh, I was gonna. Did you pick up the HD collection?
No, I mean it's the old one on the PS3.
But, you got the PS3.
Yeah, that's just like hanging around. But I don't want to say much about the story, but like I am. The Doom I played is like it's very much like a part one. Like it was an interesting like cliffhanger ending that I wasn't expecting. Like it was very like when I got to the end of the game, I was like, this isn't the end of the game, and then it was like credits, and I was like, oh crap! Like they weren't joking. Like they really like it is very much like we are making another game. You will play another game. There is more to this story. So I'm assuming that this is like maybe a trilogy situation.
That'd be my guess.
And I'm assuming the second, like I haven't played through the second one at all.
Right.
Now I probably will because
there you go.
I loved it so much.
Time is ticking, Andy.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta get ready.
There's so many like, oh my god, like I was talking to my nephew and he was like, "Did you get Thousand Year Door yet?" And I was like, "No, I'm playing these other games." Like, and I'm like, I gotta play that though because I love Paper Mario so much.
Just quit your job. Don't see your friends or family anymore.
So what you do is you become a streamer.
You just glue the screen in your face and you keep playing.
Just be a streamer and you can you make the money.
There you go.
That's true. You go. I have been wanting to get back on streaming.
How do you feel about little pools, Andy? Little pools that you could just walk in, put on a nice bathing suit. There's a hot tubs channel.
I'll show my breasts.
There you go.
Like come in a bikini.
There you go. Think of the views, Andy.
There we go. I see. Okay.
Why is money going up? They give me that much money. That much money, huh?
There you go.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so that is it for my Xbox. Anyone else Xbox?
The only thing for me is the Frag Punk. Was that
was that the one you showed me earlier?
The other hero, sure.
Uh-huh.
But this one gave me a lot of vibes of Titanfall, in which they had little cards.
Mechas?
Oh, the one we were just watching, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like little cards, and like the cards do things that, before you start the match.
So no mechas.
There's no mechas. I'll give the Goofy side tangent here. Apex Legends had the balls to put in mechas in that game now.
What?
Oh, really?
The fuck did you do that?
I forgot about that game.
God.
And it's like, I'm sorry.
Why tried. Not? I just never could.
But whatever, guys.
All right.
EA says there is hope for Titanfall 3. Guys, guys, hello, guys. But that's the only other thing.
All right. Let's see here. The one I have here next is one from the PC Gaming Show.
Oh.
The only thing of note, and it really just seemed just concept. But as an anime junkie I am, there's a game called Unbeatable, but it seems very early on. But it definitely has the anime aesthetic, definitely up my alley because it's apparently about girls and rock and roll and something about a dystopic future where music is banned and they're just gonna go out and do rock shows and crazy trigger anime shenanigans happen.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And it's a lot of 2D, 3D environments and just very over the top. And like I said, if you're a Studio Trigger fan, it definitely gives you some vibes of something like that, like a Gurren Lagann or Panty and Stocking, if you're familiar with these anime titles. So that was my only note at the PC Gaming Show. We had the Ubisoft Forward show, which basically was the Prince of Persia show. So if you're a Prince of Persia fan, they announced the Sands of Time is happening for reals, but not until 2026. Which is weird because they were going to release a remake of Sands of Time like 2-3 years ago, like literally like months away, and then they just, I guess they scrapped it and started brand new all over again.
Oh, interesting.
With this version, because they didn't, there's no gameplay, no nothing. It's just, it's happening in 2026. So they built a whole game and it's in the trash now.
If there's no Prince, I'm out.
Hmm?
If there's no Prince, then I'm out.
Well, how's there not going to be a Prince and a Prince of Persia?
No, but no, like, what's his name?
Oh, Yuri Lowenthal?
Yeah, if he's not voicing the Prince.
Well, yeah, I mean, which he did. Which, speaking of, they did reenact him because they had the actor show up, be like, hey, we were voicing the characters again from the game you originally loved. So, like, they spent a lot of money on this game to just do it again, which is like, they had no confidence in this remake, which is like, why did you even greenlight it in the first place?
Yeah, I don't understand not to slander Prince of Persia, but I never really got why it was so.
Oh, I never
gave it a shot. I don't know. It just seemed like a property that was just. All right, maybe I don't know shit about Prince of Persia, but not. Yeah.
Play Sands of Time and call me back, Andy.
Yeah, I remember that was a big deal then.
Sands of Time.
That's all I really remember.
It's a solid game. It's nothing like amazing, but at the time. It did a little. It did action, did some platforming, good storytelling. Checked a lot of boxes. Good voice acting, which at the time was kind of rare, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
So check out Sands of Time. Be my recommendation for you. There is The Rogue Prince of Persia, which is made by the Dead Cells people, which I don't know if anyone here has played Dead Cells.
Yeah, I have. I have on Switch.
Yeah, I've dabbled a little bit. I did like it, the little I played of it, and I need to go back to it, like so many other video games in my back catalog. But it's made by them, and it's just 2D Prince of Persia, a lot of platforming action.
And it's a roguelike.
And it's a roguelike, which is fitting, because that's what Dead Cells is all about. And now that I'm playing Hades, I guess this is my genre of choice, maybe, perhaps. So I'll look forward to that. The other game that seems like a no-brainer slam dunk 15 years late to the party is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Which is just Assassin's Creed in Japan with ninjas and samurais.
Yeah.
What an idea, Ubisoft. Yeah. What an idea.
Just take them somewhere else. Same idea, now here.
Yes.
And then here.
So, and the interesting is this one gave me a little bit vibes of Syndicate. Is that the one in London, Miles?
Yeah, with the two protagonists.
With the two protagonists, because you got the two protagonists here. Playing the different roles if you want to hide in the shadows as a ninja, or you just want to do cool samurai fights with the African American, or like
Yasuke.
The foreigner from Africa, the black guy who came to Japan and became a samurai.
Black guy in Japan,
but he's a famous black guy in Japan. So you could be part of history, which is fitting because Prince of Persia. Assassin's Creed is all about historical figures with a twist, right? So it makes sense to go there. So that looks pretty promising. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed in forever.
Same. Brotherhood was my last, I think.
Oh my, that's even longer than me, Andy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I always wanted to do that pirate one, but I never gave it a shot.
Black Flag's good. Black Flag is good. I will.
It looks good.
If there's one to play, I would say that's probably the one to play, Andy. Out of all the other ones that came afterwards, that's the one to play. And here's one maybe just fitting. This is definitely welcome to the Star Wars podcast. Star Wars Outlaws, Andy. Have you seen this? Are you looking forward to this?
Outlaws. I think I was getting it confused with Hunters, so I didn't look at it.
There is a lot of Star Wars happening. I am too getting confused, and even I guess I miss Hunters, you miss Outlaws, so we break even. Together, Andy, we make the Star Wars universe whole.
I guess so.
This you're basically playing a female Han Solo smuggler type person.
Oh, I've seen that. There was a trailer way back when, I think.
Yeah, I think they showed a little bit.
I think we
last
talked
year
about
as well.
this.
Yeah, but we saw a little bit more, and it's coming out this August, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's right around the corner. It has more. I was kind of like a little skeptical, but seeing a little bit more, I'm feeling it a little bit more. Also, I'm a little bit of a Star Wars high with Rebels, and now Ahsoka.
As long as you become a Jedi at the end, we're fine.
Yeah, as long as there's barely like maybe one Jedi, and they just do one little Force thing over there in the corner, then that's probably for the better for me. Less Jedis, the better. Who knows? There's another possible Twitch streaming game right there, and Star Wars Outlaws are coming out this summer. Anyone else Ubisoft? I'm assuming I covered it. There wasn't too much there.
No, that wasn't there. I guess no.
All right, it is time now for the thing you've been waiting for this whole bloody podcast. We are now here to talk about the Nintendo Direct that
came out of nowhere and just stole everything.
Pretty much. Nintendo showed up out of nowhere and won E3, and E3 doesn't even exist anymore, but somehow they won E3 again. It's impressive, honestly. So let's see here. The first one I have here listed is, speaking about things we thought were dead but somehow exist, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's here, supposedly, gentlemen, and looks like Metroid Prime.
Sure does. Yeah, we were talking about how
Metroid all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, I mean, you said it. It looks like a Metroid Prime. Like, it's like there's nothing different about
Yeah.
what you. It's not like they're showing off now. It's this.
Look
it's
at
like,
all these new things you've never done before.
It's just like, remember this character? Remember how she was fighting this guy from like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I guess.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
And look, a Metroid. Hey,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the thing you hear the kid, which is, once again, I'm always fascinated with a new Metroid game. There's another Metroid?
Well, I'm wondering. So I'm guessing this is like, if we were gonna like talk about the timeline, this is before the first one, right? Because like I think the Primes.
Probably didn't take before the first Metroid game.
Yes.
Yes.
Or was it after? Or was it after? But was it before 2?
I'm
I
trying
don't
to remember.
Shit, it's been so long. Even
I know.
don't
Well,
remember.
because to my knowledge, I think it's before Metroid. It's the first
maybe
one. Is,
I don't know why gut instinct. I want to say it's between 1 and 2.
I think so because it has to be because Zero Mission is technically the
One,
first one.
yes.
Yeah, so I think it's before 2.
I
yeah.
want to say that.
I think that's right.
but
Yeah.
I have no proof.
So then I guess I'm thinking it's 1 Prime 1 2 3 4 2
Two.
and then everything and then Dread at the end.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, sure, it's Metroid Prime. I like Metroid.
Yeah.
Dread was good, despite I guess that wasn't first person, but
Yeah.
it's still Metroid. And
Yeah, I just remember when I was replaying Prime, I think I might have mentioned this, was my biggest grief was how easy it was in retrospect, and I didn't die once, which was like, it's like, why am I not dying? Like I feel like
because you're such a great gamer, Andy.
yeah, I feel like I'm bragging here,
You're
but
the
well,
esports.
and also you have 2 sticks now instead of 1.
yeah, exactly.
That also helps a little bit.
And yeah, that's true. I think that's true. I think that's what it is because the control scheme was so different, and it's like, well, before it was just like you're only like, I mean, it's hard to describe.
You're not
how
gonna use that
different
GameCube C stick for
you're
anything.
not
Let me
using-
tell you.
Yeah, it's just
there for looks.
Yeah, kind of. But no, yeah, I just hope it's. I'm sure it's gonna be good.
I hope so. It's
can't
been a long.
Yeah.
Well,
time.
it's by Retro Studios, so
Oh, it still is.
It is.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
yeah.
wow.
Because that's another game they scrapped and gave it to Retro to start all over again.
Oh, it
Just
wasn't retro initially?
Originally, no.
Oh.
No.
But they botched it so badly that they gave
They're
it to
just
Retro.
There
Give
was
it
another
back?
studio. I don't think they ever announced what studio it was, but there was another studio working on it, and then I guess Nintendo didn't like what they were doing,
Yeah.
and they gave it to Retro instead.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, which does. There was a ref. What was I think? There was some. Oh, the first Final Fantasy VII remake was going to be done outside of Square Enix. They saw what they were doing. They didn't like that and canceled that and did it in house.
Oh.
And that's why Kingdom Hearts man is all over that fucking game because he was director now.
Huh.
Good and bad about that.
Yeah,
Listen to previous episodes of Otaku if you're curious to hear more.
Yeah. Murray up in there.
So yes, that is happening with Metroid Prime 4. It does exist. Nintendo won with this game alone. Ace Attorney Investigations Collections. It brings the 2 spin-off games of the original Ace Attorney game. One which never actually came out west. So I'm very happy to get that. I'm a little saddened because my copy of the American one just went down, I'm pretty sure, because of this announcement. Since I'm a hardcore fan, and of course I bought them all back in the day. But at the same time, I'm joking. I'm glad it's out, and you can play the original graphics, but also they have a newer, cleaner graphics that looks more faithful to the original character designs. So that's pretty neat to see that. And playing Detective, it's Ace Attorney, the same characters I know and like. So I'm buying that day one. I'll tell you that right now. So that is happening. We have a new Legend of Zelda, but with a twist. With this one being Echoes of Wisdom. Because the hero of time, the Triforce of Courage is indisposed at the moment. He fell in the pit.
He's in an unknown place.
Yes, and it's up to the actual title character herself, Zelda, to save the day in Hyrule for once.
By making beds.
Yeah, we're finally here. It's crazy. It's
mhm.
been a long, and yeah, she's making beds.
She's making beds. I mean,
well, she's doing more than that. And I feel like
Chairs,
there's gonna be
tables.
I just wish like it's
Moblins.
a silly
It's gonna be a pro
way to
wrestling
like
at this
do
rate.
a reveal and then be like, look at the chairs you could,
Yeah,
like,
it's like-
you're Zelda and look at these chairs you're
yeah,
creating.
and
It's like,
she's got a bunch of chairs.
yeah, it feels like maybe save that for like, when you play the game and you're getting started,
Yeah.
not like this is what you can do.
Like, look at that's cute and silly,
Yeah.
but maybe not in the first
Yeah.
initial reveal. You're like, oh my god, the thing I've been asking for all this time, and it's like, oh, but it's not really.
Yeah.
Also, what we were kind of hoping for, kind of maybe.
It's like the Peach game we had like a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And I'm like, So this is a Kirby game. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I
it.
played the demo of that, and I was just like, oh, this is not for
Well,
me.
it is, and also
Great
demos
for the
run-
kids, I suppose.
It is,
the-
yeah.
the
That's
demo
really
doesn't
what it
run well.
is.
That's the other problem with that.
Well, it's the Switch is kind of old. But yeah, it's I don't know. I had mixed feelings because part of me was like, oh, once again, oh, thank goodness, Zelda's here, finally a Zelda game. I think we talked about it when we talked about Tears of the Kingdom and this and that of like, why don't they make a Zelda for for everyone out there who wants
Cowards.
It's her goddamn franchise. Why isn't she more in the damn
Right,
game?
yeah.
A playable character. So it's good that she's a playable character and you can see her perspective. But at the same time, I always feel bad because I hear stories of other people with, people more our age or maybe a little bit older than us who have like daughters and they see Zelda and they're like, oh, I thought you get to play as Zelda. I'm like, no, honey, you play as Link, you play as the boy. And she's like, well, why can't I just do it but as Zelda? Why can't why can't the girl be the cool action hero character? So I feel bad about that. So it's like, here you go, honey, it's the Zelda game fun. Oh, do I get a sword and fight? No, but you get a bed.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be more than beds, though. Well, I mean, obviously they're showing her like cloning the bad guys and stuff, which is like, okay, that's that's interesting, but
it's like because I know he wants to go out of the box now because he doesn't want.
Well, he always wants to go.
Because he doesn't want to do it traditional looking because to
Right.
him that's boring.
yeah.
Well, of course, he's been there for a long time doing the Zelda formula, so that's why we got Breath of the
Once in a
Wild
while,
and all these
wouldn't
other
hurt.
ones.
Once in a while would have hurt.
What was the
Just
3DS
once.
one?
Between worlds.
Yes,
Link
Between Worlds. Yes.
Yeah.
Where you change the form, like, oh, you could choose where you want to go and this and that. So like he's been
Yeah.
trying his best to shake it up.
And for the most part, they're successful.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I want to give him the benefit of the doubt as this being so different.
That's
you
also
know?
true, that's
Yeah.
true.
I don't want to like shit on it too bad, but just chairs and beds, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it just seemed. Yeah, it did seem. I would say that for another trailer too. Like,
Yeah.
oh, look at the extra silliness
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
do.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It just, like I said, it just somehow it doesn't
Yeah.
hit as well as you were hoping it would. At
Yeah.
least maybe for a Western audience, maybe I don't know. But it still looks good, and like you said, Andy, I will give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I do like the fact it is new and different. I just hope all gamers could appreciate this game.
I hope that the
So-
game actually runs a little better than Link's Awakening.
There's also that because we mentioned also me and Miles were not fans of the Link's Awakening remake.
Because they ran like shit.
So I'm hoping they'll fix that in this version. And they never patched it either, which
Interesting.
still bums me out every time I realize that. Being like, this is a Zelda game made by Nintendo on a main console, and it's not optimized at all. It doesn't seem very Nintendo-like.
That's interesting.
So hopefully they fix the bugs in this new entry in the franchise. Brings me to more sequels of a, I guess, dead franchise, question mark, with Mario and Luigi Brothership. I think, is that what it's? Brothership?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a weird. I had to double check. Like, what's it called again? Brothership. But because it's interesting because the studio that made the Mario and Luigi games died like 2-3 years ago now.
Oh.
Well, longer than that, like 2019, I think.
Oh, was it that long ago now? Boy, that should fucking 2020 just fucked up the time.
It really did.
It
It
really
really did.
So a curiosity of who's making it. I don't think Nintendo said who is making it. I'm assuming it's in-house. The logical choice would be Intelligent Systems, who the people who've done like the Fire Emblems and the Paper Marios. So that's most likely, but
Yeah.
we don't know.
Well, they said that according to the records, a lot of people that used to work at Alpha Dream are still Nintendo.
Oh, really?
So there's a high chance that because
A lot of the same creative
according
people.
to they said a lot of people who worked on Mario and Luigi games actually working on this game.
I know Nintendo was talking about trying to salvage the best out of that situation when that studio shut down, but I didn't hear like, oh, they hired this many people from here and here and here to work at. So hopefully that is the case because, hey, we got to put money on the bread on the table.
But the game though, guys, the game though.
But the game itself does look promising.
Chef's kiss.
It's
One.
maintains that art
Yeah,
style.
it looks great. It looks cute and fun, and those games they have a really good sense of humor, and you can tell that it's
Indeed.
gonna be. Yeah, I
and
love
the bro moves are back.
the bro.
Oh yes, the timing. And if you're a Paper Mario fan, then you'll be right at home
Yeah,
with Mario
I
Luigi.
love that.
The
And
A, B, A,
now I've only
B.
bring back the advanced moves, like when you do like because they always have
Oh,
the
the
prompts,
souped
right?
up
But
versions.
if you're real awesome and you kind of do it, you could do
You could time it just
the
right.
super edition, the advanced versions would do normal damage.
This is when my music rhythm game skills come into play here. Timing. But yeah, it has a lot of promise, and hopefully it, like Andy said, it has a lot of humor as well as the previous games does, because that was definitely a highlight in the Mario RPG-ish
Oh yeah,
styles.
yeah.
So hopefully this could live up to this, and that also comes to the end of this year.
I think so. Yeah,
comes
November.
November 7th.
Yeah, November.
So
No, I
Christmas.
my
Here
head,
we go.
I have all the dates of the important games.
There you go. All the big games.
Astrobot, September 6th. Mario Luigi Brothership is on November 7th.
Keep us around. Let's see here. The other one is more Mario Party and Super Mario Party Jamboree. Nothing like super crazy, but it's just like, hey, they finally fixed the goddamn Mario Party formula, which seems so obvious. See the first 3, maybe 5 games in the original franchise. Just make more of that. That'd be great.
But then, like, I love that they're doing like this interesting Mario Kart sort of thing.
Yes.
Like, that's fun. Like doing stuff like that, and that's so simple. I don't know if it's just as simple as like longer track but bigger dice rolls or something like that. It's like just something as simple as that to make it feel like even if it's not that crazy different, it just feels like you're like, oh, I'm playing, you know, Mario. And obviously there's like different like in-game nuances to that, I'm sure, that we don't know about yet. But yeah, no, it looks cool. Like, and like the online features they're doing, like it's sort of like a battle royale.
Which is so weird that the first Mario Party on the Switch didn't have online play.
Yeah, they just, I don't know why. I mean, I think they just were like, it's just like it was almost like they knew they were going to do one that's online later. So it's like, well, we can't do online now.
Because then there's nothing to get excited about.
Exactly.
Which is just so, it's so, like I said, they're like, it's like one of those like, oh, good, you got your shit together, Nintendo. Bare minimum, everyone applaud. Bare minimum.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just like, oops, we forgot to put online in the first one. Oh, here it is now.
And then, they slapped it in. Like, oh my god. Oh,
sorry.
Now
you have it. The neat thing that there's 5 new boards plus 2 old boards.
Oh, right, they brought back some.
Yeah.
So there might be a chance, guys, and if I put old board game, we get old boards remade in this game. Would be kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean they did that in the last one.
Yeah, because it was like a greatest hits, wasn't it? The last one?
There was some. It was like a mishmash, but I don't know.
The top 100 Mario Party
game.
No.
The last Switch one, wasn't it like basically a map from Mario Party so and so, Mario Party so and so?
Yeah, they had like one from each one, I think.
Yeah.
The Super Mario Party, right?
Well, there's so. I forget what it's hard to even like say.
Yeah, because this is going to be the third.
This is the Super Mario
this
Party
is the
Party 1.
Right?
Stupid.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because this will be the third Mario Party. Because the first Mario Party was like just okay. The second one was actually good, but it was just the greatest hit. So it's kind of like, oh yay, the thing I actually expected.
Right.
But I guess I'll take it. But this one looks like actually they're building upon it for once.
Yeah, the first one is Super Mario Party. The second one is Mario Party Superstars.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that one.
And then this one is Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Jamboree, at least that.
So they add the super back in.
Yeah, more super.
Oh my god.
God, is he super? Is he not? And that's the thing. It's like,
and
it's starting if you think about the Mario universe and how that works. Like, all right, wait, because Super Mario is the big Mario, but Big Mario isn't that big, right? So how big is regular Mario? And that's where it's like when I start thinking about it. And
that's like philosophical.
I know.
But what is Super?
What is a big Mario?
Yeah, that's a big Mario.
What is this mushroom?
Well, if you watch the movie, you would know that he eats the mushroom and then he gets the training course.
He gets the thing. He beats Donkey Kong and races cars and other things. And
being the silly, normal person that he's supposed to be, you know, Mario.
Indeed. The movie's fine.
It's fine.
It's just fine.
I can't hate it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, I'll stick with my Sonic, but I guess I'm biased also on that.
Sonic
you are.
Sonic looks in the movie going, I'm worried about this.
I got Shadow. What do you got? Oh no. All right, so that is that. And the final game, and the only game that matters, gentlemen, that happened this month, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is back, baby.
Oh my god, how did I forget about that?
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I want to take you for a ride.
Take me for a ride. Take me wherever you fucking want to go.
I'm going to take you for a ride because you're going to buy this collection yet again.
Oh my goodness gracious. My poor Dreamcast copy is just plummeting in price as we speak, but I don't care. I don't care because it's Marvel vs. Capcom on my Switch, on my PlayStation 4.
It does like
sign me the fuck up.
The goofy Terminator. Just thumbs like,
we did it.
And it's got it's got like the first one of those games I bought was just the Street Fighter one. And
the Street Fighter.
And I had that. I had that on PlayStation, and I remember it was like a little weird. Like there was something different about it that I wasn't quite into, and it might have just been that it was like it didn't have all the characters.
Could be.
But and I think that's on there. Yeah,
it's on there. Everything.
And then it's so cool to see like the evolution. It's like, oh, now it's Street Fighter,
right.
And that was like one of the ones that, and it's like so funny. Like I played like very different variations. I think that was the Street Fighter. It was Street Fighter versus Marvel, right?
That was one of them.
Yeah, and no.
I think
it's X-Men,
Yes.
X-Men versus Street Fighter was the first one, I think.
Marvel versus Street Fighter.
And then there was was it Gems or what is it called? The
Marvel
Superhero. That's what it is.
Yeah. That was the one I played.
Marvel Capcom 1, Marvel Capcom 2,
right.
And the Punisher.
And
then the Punisher game, and then when I saw
the classic fighting game, The Punisher.
It's funny, I that was a game that was at my local bowling alley. I remember seeing that and being like a kid and being like, that looks too violent. And I'm like, oh, it's back. Like, that's so cool that it's just here again. Like, it's not dead. Yeah.
You know, because, Frank Castle needs they take his slowly. No. Take him out like little by bit.
He's the friendliest Marvel character there is. But yeah, that's big. That's crazy. It's huge because they were trying. Because this whole, obviously with two giant companies like Marvel and Capcom, and I want my character because there was Marvel's Capcom Infinite. I don't know, you remember Infinite, Andy?
Marvel? No.
Exactly. Infinite was the last of these games, and it came out and just died. I was actually there at the conference when they announced that game to the public. Pretty big event, and I was hyped because Mega Man X was in it, and I was like, I'm sold. Take my money. I even bought the special edition with my terrible
Infinity eggs.
Yeah, my Infinity eggs ready for Easter.
Wow, I forgot about this.
Yes,
game.
So that was the last game, and it was not. What the problem is it did not, because there was Marvel's Capcom 1, Marvel Capcom 2, which was everyone's probably favorite, I would guess. Marvel Capcom 3 is also very good, but different, but still very good.
That's why that's not in here.
Yeah, I guess it's too new, question mark. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, I remember Rocket Raccoon's in it, and then the guy from not Dead Island.
Deadpool?
The zombie game.
Shit. 360 Dead Rising?
Dead Rising, that's right.
Yeah. Frank West.
Frank
West. He covers West, He covers wars, That's the line, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that was the last game, and it didn't do very well, and it had like a $3 budget, it felt like, compared to the clean, especially with Marvel's Capcom 3 was the last game, and that was like a really cool looking, they had the comic book art style and everything. But yeah, Infinite was just kind of, it came and it went and it just died.
Yeah.
And it was weird because it was very Disney / Marvel being like, we want you to you can have this character, and that, because we're going to promote this movie, that movie, and this movie. So that's what you get. Wolverine, fuck you, there's no X-Men movie. What, you can't get them. What else you want?
Yeah.
And so it was very shitty roster on Marvel's side. Minus Zero and X, that was the biggest reason why I picked it up, was because finally my Zero and X team now exists in canon. But yes, the classics, are back. I just want to play my Ryu, Mega Man, and Jill team every day on Marvel's Capcom 2. Where else am I gonna get a robot, a girl with a beret with shoulder pads, and a man who fights homeless people on the streets together? And where else am I gonna get that? But only in Marvel's Capcom 2. I suck at the game, but I love it every little thing about it. With this, it's so broken. It's absolutely broken.
Who cares?
But who cares? Let's play again.
Yeah.
Maybe this time I'll break out of that fucking unbreakable combo chain. We'll see. This time for sure. But yes, I'm very excited.
Evil, here I come.
There you go. See you soon, Vegas. But yeah, that was definitely the game that I'm the most excited. Between that and Ace Attorney was the two things I got up my seat and be like, woo, we've done it. We've done it, games. We've done it.
And as the other cabinet that's over here, probably lost value as well.
Yeah, I know. Oh yes, my Marvel's Capcom.
The last time we're going to print this game ever, guys.
This will be the last time, and it's still also sitting in the box, hoping to be cracked open.
And it'll be sit further from us, because now it's like, now you can play a modern console.
Well, no way. I could put it next to the Dreamcast version, and they'll just sit there getting cheaper by the second. Oh well.
Every day, $1 lost.
Just falls off the planet. Oh well. But once again, I'm glad it exists. So that is it for my notes. So gentlemen, if there's anything else you saw that you want to share, now is the time.
They're making a sequel to Frog Gun Encore. It's kind of neat. It's like a N64 platformer where you have a girl with a little frog gun.
That checks out.
But it plays just like
my 64
like a platformer from 64. Kind of neat.
I do like those.
They made a sequel to
oh yeah, this looks fun. Looks like Ape Escape.
They definitely Miles is writing it down.
Yeah.
Citizen Sleeper 2.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's
some Ape Escape shit right there.
But there's Citizen Sleeper 2.
Cinnamon Sleeper?
No, Citizen.
Oh, okay.
Citizen. Sorry, Mr.
Cinnamon Sleeper. She's on Twitch, I think.
Yeah.
That's the different channel.
Yeah, we don't talk about that channel. Citizen Sleeper was kind of kind of like the vein of like Disco Elysium, kind of, but like in space.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like you do it's like a narrative, and you roll dice.
Oh, literally, like
to choose.
Is
like,
it the same developers?
I don't think so,
No?
but it's the same kind of gameplay where you get different dice, and you roll and see like if you get it or you don't get it, and
Like
I
Dungeons
played
and Dragons, sort of.
I played it on Game Pass a while ago.
Oh, okay.
And I love it so much I ended up buying on Steam.
Oh, there you go.
And
I'm sure Microsoft's happy about that. Question mark.
Then there's Starbirds. That was interesting. Starbirds is a game in which it's kind of like you're building planets, but kind of like what's it called? Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh.
Where like you make little planets and you like do gather resource, and you jump from one planet to the next to connect them to that way they get resources from one planet to the other one. You kind of like it's a whole management.
Isn't that what's it called? No Man's Sky?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But it does a lot of gravity because you have to jump to different asteroids, kind of like Mario Galaxy. Then there's Wonder Stars, which was interesting because Wonder Stars was like another anime-esque game in which you're like doing fight. You fight with your feet, I guess. But yeah, but you also use your words. So you get like you combine. Like, I use my super, like, because every time, like, classic, like, children, like, always like, this is my ultimate super power, like, super magic fire attack, right? So you collect words and you put the words together to name your set attack and use that to fight, enemies and stuff. I thought that was kind of neat. And then the last one I have on my notes. Oh, Angry Foot.
Angry Foot.
You're Tarantino fan out here, Miles.
Well, it's all
that's sexy.
It's by Devolver. They're all doing all the crazy. Crazy
Devolver.
Thing.
Yes.
And it's a shooter game. Like you collect. It's kind of reminds me of like Rayman. The way you collect like super abilities, because you collect shoes. But each of the shoes do like.
It's a shooter like Rayman.
Well, I mean, because Rayman, you get power ups, right?
I suppose.
Or maybe. Trying to think what's a better way. Kind of like
looks like this.
Oh, okay. It's like it's definitely like I don't know, like a
maybe more
Wolfenstein. I don't know, fancy Wolfenstein.
Like Wolfenstein / Sonic Colors, I guess.
Sonic Colors.
Well, because
Wolfenstein and Sonic Colors.
Well, because
work on this, gamers. Developers, let us know how this is coming out. I look forward to the next game festival.
Let me finish, please.
Miles is making new genres.
But basically, the opposite of the games, you get shoes, and the shoes do different abilities. Like you start fires, you punch your foot really fast, and like punch enemies out of the way. You speed fast, you jump up, but you get like different
feet abilities.
Okay. And I said it's like really shell shaded kind of.
But you're kicking people in first person.
Yeah, while you're shooting and you're using your.
Okay, so you have a gun, but you got good feet.
You got good feet. Yes.
Why don't you just kick these fools with your good feet?
I didn't make the game. What do you want me to tell you? That's all I guess I have on my list.
Alrighty, Andy, is there anything we've missed that's on this giant scope of video games, and more fucking video games?
No, we covered pretty good. I think we got these games down on lock.
We could cross it off the list.
Yeah, we cross these games off.
Video games done.
Good luck seeing these games in 2026 when we have time for them.
Yeah, that's like the sad part is like all these will now be on my Steam wish list, and then one day I'll buy them when they're on sale, and then they'll sit there forever.
I heard Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're gonna put them in the shelf in the museum and just wait. I'll get there one day.
Put it on the hard drive, just store it away. These are all the games I haven't played yet, but I'm going to. I swear. Any day now. We're almost there.
There's fun as still.
It's a very big hard drive at this point. That's even the worst part. That's all the. What's the higher than a teraflop there, Miles?
Where we're at right now will be Penta will be the next level up.
It's a pentaflop drive right there.
Penta, then Exta, and then
full of shame.
And we will be on after that.
Go beyond plus Ultra. So yes, we've done it, gentlemen. We've covered not E3 this year.
We've covered every single gosh darn game we have on
We've covered all the games. Like I said, hopefully if there's something we kind of interest. Once again, put it on the Steam list and the wish list. It really does help. These
do like the fact that
developers
that was kind of until okay guys, I got this. Let me save this whole thing.
Turns out, I just hope before the end of the year we get a Switch 2 announcement. Because, man, do we need some new hardware from Nintendo.
Yeah, it's time.
It's overdue. And they admit it's happening, so that is step one.
Yeah.
They admit they have a problem.
We're not going to look at it in this direct. You're probably not going to look at Gamescom. you're lucky if maybe at the end of the year.
It's gonna be like November, October, maybe.
After the Christmas season started. Okay, now here's this guy.
It's definitely after the Mario and Luigi, since that's probably gonna be the big Christmas game, I imagine.
Yeah.
I feel like this December get some hype coming up for the holiday season, perhaps. We'll see. Definitely early next year. At the ultimate, after that, I'm lost faith in this damn company. But hopefully we'll get switched to, and everyone else will get more of us here in the future of Otaku. Quick preview. Would we have our anime reviews for the spring season.
And after that, it's the summer previews.
Right, because then after that is summer previews, which we'll cover also in July. So if you're an anime fan, stay tuned. I know quite a few who's listened to us during these times, so if you're an anime fan, that's the good time to check us out in July.
Yeah.
All the anime reviews and previews are coming up. I will be streaming once again, Twitch TV _SD or SD _Shonen. Link down below in the description of this podcast if you're curious. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'll be there. Play something Nintendo. Tease it. You'll find out next week on the pod. By the time this comes out, well, you already know by the time this comes out, so hopefully you guys had a good time on the stream. How did I do? Tell me how I did on the stream. Let me know. Hopefully I did a good job, just like I did hosting this podcast. But before I go, I have to make sure I properly thank everyone. Andy, thanks for coming again here on the podcast.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but I'm down to do it again soon.
Yes.
I will, maybe I'll watch an anime next time.
Don't you give me hope, Andy. Don't you give me hope.
We'll see. I'm not going to say.
Where's my Hawkeye? Don't you do that. Don't you give me hope.
We'll see.
All
right. But yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
I'm glad we were able to catch up and have you on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miles, as always, brother, thank you for bringing all your waifus and your gachas and your weird N64 and your foot fetish. Bring the foot fetish more, Miles. Let it out.
Oh, this is gonna be tough. Just pull.
All right.
Don't think. Just pull.
Don't think about the money, Miles.
Just keep pulling.
You're losing money by not playing.
It's E6 or bust. E6 or bust.
Indeed. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Hopefully you had a fun time. You'll check us out next time. Until then, laters, people.
Bye.
Bye-bye.